Welcome, one and all. This is the Peace Dealer, and welcome to another episode of Transit Talk, where we get to examine the transit of Mars, transiting through Aquarius. As you know, Mars transits zodiac signs moderately slow. It takes its time. I think it takes about 2 days a degree or a day and a half a degree. Regardless, though, as you should know, Mars is the planet that governs and exhibits that killer instinct within you, that ability to focus your will and harness that passion. Okay. So whenever you think of desire and whenever you think of the execution and the hatsu of your power and your power itself, this is going to indicate Mars. In that sense, I want you to take some time. I'm going to blank the video out and just focus singularly on what your personal superpower is. Keep in mind that everyone has their sun and moon in different houses. So for some of you with your sun in the first house or Mars in the first house, your superpower may be your identity. If you have powerful, if your superpower is more seventh house in nature, your superpower is experienced through other people. So what is your superpower? What is your trademarked TM skill or ability? Stay tuned. I'm going to pull tarot cards for each of the zodiac signs. And after I do that, before I do the super chat, I'm going to give you another hack. It's going to be a hack to understand the secrets of the planets through the body. It's a little bit of a palmistry hack here from Uranus and Taurus. All right. So really just focus. You can write it down here as well on the live chat. You know what I mean? And a lot of you, honestly, everybody doesn't just have one superpower, by the way. It's not like everyone has just like this one power, but everyone does have elemental affinities, right? So someone who's majority fire, their superpower is going to be one that bends the element of fire. Someone who's majority earth and water, they may have an earth superpower, they may have a water superpower. Some of you are avatars. You bend all the elements, okay? So it's not necessarily that you have to trade in on one facet of yourself, but if you took the sum total of everything that you can do, what is that power that allows you to do this? And if you don't know, that's a good thing. For some of you, it may take two Saturn returns just to understand this. Whereas for others of you, it's something that you've kind of always known. All right. So it's totally fine where you're at and just kind of focus on this. All right. And have fun with it too. It doesn't have to be so critical, like it's A, B plus C. You know what I mean? All right. Damn. Okay, November 16th, Scorpio. All right, y'all. This transit is nuts. This transit is freaking super nuts, first of all. I think it's important that we just kind of establish that. Not only is this transit nuts, it's definitely going to facilitate everything that will help you understand how to connect your own power in a very cosmic way. So think about everything that I've been slowly but surely talking to you about, the ideas that I have been pitching to you at a conscious and subconscious level have much to do with sovereignty, your value, your superpowers. Really, like your super consciousness, your magic with the CK ability. I'm really helping you break free from modern philosophical thought and psychological thought so that you are inventive in the way you think and ultimately act. And I say that because Mars in Aquarius is the transit that's going to take our activated superpowers and allow you to understand the knowledge of your power. This is like amazing, especially if we go back to Mars and Aries when we had activated this a while ago. Okay, so the reason why I've appropriately titled this Superpower Politics is collectively, people's abilities are going to, at a much greater level, be established. And there's going to be greater legislation and politics, even if not at a Congress level, just in a communal sense, there's going to be new rules. There's going to be like, well, you can't use your power like this. This isn't ethical. You can't use your power like that. That's not ethical. And it's going to raise new questions and new challenges. Keep in mind, Mars is going to be in Aquarius until November. So the reason why this is such a huge deal is we're going to experience a very powerful eclipse. And this eclipse, sorry, we're going to have experienced the eclipse Leo season, but we're going to experience a very powerful retrograde. me get this back. And the retrograde before the eclipse is going to really help humanity come to accept the consequences of not really embracing or coming to sectionality with this extra energy. In other words, let me break down the transit in an even more clear way. Mars is in Aquarius right now. Mars is your power. But I was talking about how the sun is a very free form of your awareness, where it's just, and Mercury allows you the consciousness to know and process everything you're aware of. But if you just had, even if you just had Sun and Mercury, you would just be processing and just aware, like, that's that, that's that, that's that, that's that. But Mars is what makes you see that and be like, oh, I like that. I'm going to go get that right there. Of course, wherever Mars is in your chart will show you what flavor of how you go get that. Some people have Mars in Scorpio or Mars in Cancer, and they're more manipulative and secretive with how they get what they want, or they have it in Aries and Sagittarius, and they're way more direct. They just see it, go get it, okay? So Mars in Aquarius is giving you, based on this transit now, the knowledge of your superpower. This knowledge is being established and capped off through the South Node. This is actually one of the last transits that is going to have an aspect with the South Node when we have the eclipse, as we will feature very prominently. This is a really huge deal, folks. As we will feature very prominently a South Nodal conjunction to the actual moon and Mars retrograde. And I said that wrong. The moon will be involved, but there's going to be a South Nodal conjunction to Mars retrograde, which is going to come at a time where, if we look at this very precisely, Mars is coming into Aquarius and you're going to gain knowledge. How are you going to gain this knowledge? You're going to be using your superpowers, and you're going to really, some of you are channeling this while simultaneously using it. And it's like, oh, this is the meaning of what I'm doing, and this is what I'm doing, as opposed to before, up until now, where you are just doing it. Okay, and that was the most important thing about Mars in Capricorn. The whole Mars in Capricorn transit was to establish the proper integrity of how you use your power, and the whole Mars in Capricorn was to really reveal who you are for real, based on the actions you take. So with that being said, now that it's in Aquarius, there's going to be greater establishment based on how you interact with others, and through others gaining knowledge, once again, of your superpowers. So Mars is going through Aquarius. It's going to conjunct the South Node and start to retrograde with the South Node as it leaves Aquarius. And then it's going to go direct at the tail end of Capricorn again. So you'll find that some of you, when Mars left Capricorn, you probably might have felt like you failed up to your own expectations. Or, I mean, it's not specifically that, because it doesn't manifest in one way. There are things in this life that you actually smashed, and gained greater power, because it really was a power bestowment with Saturn and Pluto. But there's certain, it's supposed to give a feeling where Saturn and Pluto kind of tore you down, your power, and it's like there's a certain facet of your power you might have kind of felt defeated in over the past week. But it's all good because Mars is going to retrograde back into Capricorn in June. It's going to start the retrograde in June, and then it's going to go direct in August. And your whatever it is you might have felt defeated, this is your victory. And then it's going to go back into Aquarius, and then it's going to enter Pisces November 14th. So Mars is going to be into an Aquarius through this transit from May to November. A lot of things happen from May to November. We step out the portal of the spiritual realm into the material realm through Gemini. Okay, Saturn goes, we have the last eclipse in Leo. Actually, we go through bloody warfare through Cancer. Then we have the last eclipse in Leo. Then Saturn goes direct and Mars goes direct, or Mars goes direct, then Saturn goes direct. Then we have the victory square. That's going to be crazy. Libra season is going to be crazy, guys. And then we're going to have Scorpio season ushering in the shift of Jupiter into Scorpio. I'm sorry, Jupiter out of Scorpio into Sagittarius. And then Mars is going to go into Pisces. That is a lot, guys. So when I say superpower politics, throughout this budding phase of our powers, and let me be real with this too. The whole 6 months while we're in the spiritual realm, this is the inner world. So it's only you and God consciousness that knows these superpowers that have been budding. Gemini season changes that game as Mars goes into Aquarius, and it's like you're seeing your friends have superpowers, your parents reveal their powers that they've always had, your kids are awakening to their superpowers. If you have kids, like it's real, guys. Saturn's in Capricorn, like it's going to arise a lot of controversy. And this could really experience itself in much higher mental acuity, as well as greater levels of craziness and depression, because not everyone's heart is in the right place. Especially with Jupiter in Scorpio, you're going to experience a lot much more mass tragedies and mass crises in order to force certain issues as well. Okay, so this is really just a symptom of the collective. In fact, the reason why collective shifts and awakenings are dangerous, they're ruled by the rebellion planet Uranus and the rebirth planet Pluto. It's going to require some bit of violence when you have that much clashing of egos. And so that's why these other outer planets have to work with Neptune and Jupiter to kind of deceive the people, to kind of raise hope to people so that people don't get too burned by the harsh present reality of life. And you know, they have different ways to channel frustration and anger. Mars in Aquarius, once again, in this short transit, is going to take all the knowledge that you have and activate. So let's think back now to Mercury and Taurus. As I've been saying, and those of you who want to comment in the live chat, feel free. Now that we have this community, the facets of your power and the facets of your spiritual experience that you share and we share together is going to create a collective conscious superpower. Like all of us, like I hope you also remember, like certain people who have been steady in the live chat and have been following me, we have all in our higher self present state knew we would do this. Almost as if the you in the future, which this may not have been true for people born in the 1400s or the 1940s. Yeah, it could still be true. But you know, imagine if there was a version of you in the future right now that knows time travel, or imagine the version of you that has mastered its super psychic power. Like you, especially tapping, you can do this by tapping into your present core and by focusing your vision forward on everything that you plan to do and everything that you plan to accomplish. And there's a version of you that has achieved that. There's a version of you, even though time isn't linear and you have to make real life conscious decisions to get there. There is a version of you in this multi-potential, limitless quantum world that has actually accomplished the full mastery of you. The reason why you have a concept of the greatest form of you is because it exists. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to build it. That's something that Mars and Aquarius is going to build in you, okay? So I want to just kind of, everything about Aquarius is futuristic. Sagittarius is seeing into the future. That's why the third house of Sagittarius is Aquarius. And Aquarius is the future. So Pisces is the full understanding of what's in the future. You want to really tap into the fact that there is a version of you that is the greatest. It's possible, therefore it exists in quantum space. And this version of you is automatically in the future because you've yet to achieve it. And so this version of you, that's the most psychic, most powerful version of you, has the psychic ability to step outside of time and interact with you. Or would they? These are things you can ponder. But that crystallized version of your power is this Mars and Aquarius transit that's going to really put knowledge on how you could do what you do, why you do what you do. And you can tap, this is what we call our higher self. For those of you who are excited about this, you can tap into this. And once again, after I pull the cards, before we go to the super chat, I'll give you homework. So I'll give you a hack, and I'll give you a body hack, and I'll give you homework. Okay? So from Saturn Capricorn, in order to tap into this part, because this is what you want to do for the whole Mars and Aquarius. All right. So once again, that everything about Sagittarius, Aquarius, it's all about quantum possibility, whereas everything about Gemini and Virgo is about material reality. Okay. So don't be afraid to embrace your imagination here. Mercury in Taurus has given you the divine flash drive of etheric consciousness and limitlessness, so that you are downloading right now with Uranus and Taurus all the limitlessness of you, of the universe, and how it pertains to you. It's a very slow process because it's a lot of millions of terabytes of information. It's only infinite, right? But all the relevant parts are being downloaded into you slowly but surely, okay? And while Mercury is doing this, Mars is downloading from the South Node in Aquarius to your heart. So Mercury in Taurus is downloading from your mind, right? Uranus in Taurus is when Lucy did that thing and dematerialized her body and ascended and then created the flash drive, passed it on to Mercury from your mind, and it's downloading to your body. Okay? So Mercury is downloading this from your mind to your body. So your body and subconscious knows how to acclimate this. Mars is downloading from the South Node, the astral galactic quantum universe, to your heart, the knowledge of your power. Okay? So what Mercury is downloading to your body is the acclimation, and not even just the acclimation, but the integration of your own limitless magic and how you tap into it with your body. All right, which is hard to say because it's not in a mental sense, A lot of this is more your own personal body language that you get to know. And then Mars is downloading the knowledge of the universe of your power through your heart, which is so huge. Because if we now keep it super real, I'm not going to tell, like, I'm supposed to tell you that ideally with politics, everyone gets along, okay? Everyone not only gets along, but everyone is going to be in a position to open up to what everyone thinks and everyone cares about. But just look at real life. There's so just look at how much corrupt certain countries are. Okay, it's definitely going to highlight everything that already exists, and these superpowers are just going to be steroids that people have. If it's going to be steroid or drug, if their hearts are impure, if their hearts are pure, it's going to be a pure substance. It's not going to be like steroids, but it will still amplify. So it's not necessarily that these superpower. That's why the collective awakening sounds great. You know, there's false light out there that masquerades around as light workers, and they want to proliferate. Oh, awaken. We need to ascend humanity. We need to be awake. We need to be spiritual. And that's only half true. I mentioned this a while back, I think 2016, in my World War Zero episode, The Dark Side of the Age of Aquarius, where you're going to have the resurrection of the ancient demon clan. Okay, you're going to have a lot more possessions. You're going to have a lot more suicide. You're going to have a lot more killers. Okay, this is not necessarily the only thing. This is in the midst of technological revolution, a lot more people coming together, but these are the consequences, is aka the dark side. So you have a lot of people talking about, we need to awaken, we need to be spiritual, we need to ascend, we need to activate our chakras, we need to actually raise our kundalini. But the reason why that's not fully sincere is because that circumvents the reason why certain information like this is done traditionally, where someone has to have a pure heart, someone has to actually have a sound mind, someone has to actually be in a right place before they just walk a spiritual path. And so when you make stuff like this trendy, it's great to guide people and show them the light, but it could totally inadvertently knock someone off their path before they're ready. So in the sense where, once again, some people are not even meant to really be spiritual this lifetime. Some people are meant to live total sixth house lives. Like the lives they're meant to live are totally focused in this real world. They're part of the Get Real squad. And I say it's a specific quadrant out of the zodiac. I want to say like 4, but not the whole quadrant, okay? And they're totally just focused with their real life, their real community, whatever is really there. Not everyone is like that. Not everyone actually has to really hold space to entertain different possibilities, to project into different worlds, to come back into this reality. And usually, as is the case, someone from that quadrant will get with someone from the other worldly mystical Piscean quadrant. But it is what it is. A very important sense of this is, yeah, there's a collective shift. People are being encouraged to awaken, but this is definitely also awakening the darkness in people's hearts. And that's what the dark forces who masquerade as false light are secretly aiming for. They want to help awaken people and activate superpowers and greater consciousness, because people who don't have integrity, people who don't have the strongest control over their urges, over their energy, once they have superpowers, they're not only easier to corrupt and possess, they're going to be easier to use. This is what they're aiming for. As such, for the first time in a long time, the first demon slayers are being reborn within the hearts of a lot of the youth. Demon slayers, genie slayers, devil slayers, God slayers, okay? And when I say slayers, I really do mean slayers. This very Martian, warlike knowledge of your abilities are going to be made clear. Last year and the years before, these concepts had to come through you through storytelling, through symbols, just like in ancient traditional times, as these come down. And now that your subconscious has been able to be comfortable seeing these symbols, seeing these stories, seeing the visuals of this, and now this can be introduced to you for real. And let me break this down again. This is how simple your spirit guides kind of work with you and allow you to really facilitate simulations. It's different for those of you who are very fluent dream, how do I say it? What's the word? It's a dreamer. It's someone who lucid dreams in a lot. A neuronaut or something like that. Oneiron, something like that. It's like Oneiron. Oneiron is someone who can just go into the other world and back in this world. These are awakening. Like a lot of Virgos have been awakening that with Pisces opposite their sun. They're living that double life. Like Virgo remembers their dream life fluidly and they remember this life. They can connect both. And then Pisces literally been there, done that. Not everyone has that. Like I don't have Pisces. I don't have Sagittarius. I don't have Virgo. So I don't lucid dream. Like that's not my superpower. That's not my power. It's something that can be developed within everybody. Like if I actually practiced inducing lucid dreaming, I could learn it. I have the proclivity for it. But it's not like a Pisces who just they didn't have to learn it. Like they've been doing that ever since they were a kid. Like they didn't have to. It's not like certain people who they just have it fluently and they can go farther, right? So your spirit guides allow you to simulate things through which you're capable of. And in that sense, for example, while Uranus was in Aries, what I want you guys to comment in the live chat below. What are five creations? They could be shows or albums, but more so like TV shows and more so like sci-fi and supernatural. But they don't have to be like they don't have to be supernatural TV shows. They could even be mundane or more riveting and mental, right? So what are like five TV shows that or Netflix, right? That has called out to you ever since 2011. All right. Ever since 2011, what were like at least five or at least three that have really impacted you from 2011 to 2018? I really would recommend you type it down here in the live chat or in the comments below, especially for other people to watch. This is what I was saying before by saying we're connected. So like other people can watch what you have in the list. You know what I mean? Someone said Corey in the House, like even a Disney Channel show, because the lessons that you learned, if you look at the whole season, I want you to know that and movies count too. If a movie impacted you, the movies and those television shows or Netflix shows or programs or whatever, or for some of you, they could be books too. If it's not television shows, it could be books. I'm really just trying to highlight creations, things that have impacted you. They could even be like DVD sets of certain programs, okay? This was your spirit guides introducing these concepts to you. For example, and I'm going to use a very extreme example here, okay? Now that Uranus is in Taurus, you can just literally see a vampire. It can bear its fangs at you. You can see it morph from its human form and take a crazier shape. If you were to just see that, 12 years ago, it's not that you couldn't handle it, but compared to now, after these concepts over the past 11 years have really sat deep in your spirit, if you were to just realize a crazy truth, because there's a crazy truth coming this Gemini season, that you are like a secret vampire princess, it's just going to flow. It's going to be like, oh, that's why I had to meet these people and understand these things. Let's take a less extreme example. Let's just say, you were learning how to be a lawyer, right? But all of a sudden, now that Uranus is in Taurus, you're having to apply your skills to actually heal people and be like an assistant nurse because given the situation, they're short on staff, and like you just need to apply something in that sense. But throughout the last 11 years, you've been watching shows like House. You met like two friends who happen to be in the medical field, and every day they would tell you about their stories about medicine. So you're not a professional by any means, but for some weird reason, those stories that they tell you are applying to your current situation, because everything does happen for a reason. And this was your spirit guide slowly preparing you for this next arc that is occurring right now. But the reason why I'm saying to really speak on television shows that are more fantasy in origin is because this is everything that's going to start to practically be made real, especially for those of you who have really felt your heart burning, okay? And but mind you, it doesn't have to be just a TV show. Somebody just referenced a YouTube audiobook on the occult. So these are, that's exactly something like these are things that are going to now be advanced, physically. Once again, I'm just saying this though to illustrate, very importantly, that the reason why this is just going to be made real and very advanced concepts that are abstract as crap and otherworldly are going to be made real. And the reason why it's just going to happen like that is because over the past 11 years, you have been prepared. Your spirit guides have been preparing you here. The outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, since 2012, has slowly been dissolving your consciousness and veiling certain things. Unless you're a Virgo or Pisces, then you kind of just see everything. So this is definitely where, now that we're stepping into the material realm, certain powers during Gemini season is the initial awareness. I'm going to give you a quick lesson on the mutable sign and experience. It's going to be a skit that I do one day, hopefully. All right, unless someone beats me to it. But if we want to understand the mutable sign experience, it's kind of like taking a released substance, whether it's prescription Adderall that you get from a doctor, or whether it's DMT. Once you actually, there are 4 stages of experience, and this is one of the best ways to explain it. So let's say you pop a pill, right? Once that pill elapses and your mind shifts and you're actually, this is the first stage, Gemini. Okay, that's when the pill actually pops and it's like, oh snap, my experience is changing, when everything is just like, oh, it's like everything just shifted. Yeah. And then you have Virgo, which is when it's after it's shifted into it and you're still experiencing. You're not exactly you haven't taken too much of the substance, but it's a lot stronger than it was, or it's a lot more progressed than it was than after that initial bloof at Gemini. Okay. And then Sagittarius is the peak of whatever substance you take. When it's like boom, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Woo, baby! All right. And then, unfortunately, you also have Pisces. Okay. So Pisces, and this is every Pisces. So Pisces is the portion of the drug intake where you overdose. So you get the highest and you get the maximum extent that you can get from the experience, but you're overdosed and your body can't take it. So you're just like, oh, 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 oh. That's why Pisces is always sleeping. They're overdosing on what? Everything is so sensitive. Oh, I feel everything. Oh no. That's why you guys stay with Sagittarius. Or, you know what I'm saying? In a very rare legendary case, there's unless you're legendary, Pisces could be the extreme Zen. But don't be fooled. This is real life. Oh, no. Too sensitive. Okay. So, that being said, we're going to pass into Gemini next week, where you get 6 months worth of inner work coming through to your experience like, whoa, this is the truth of my power. This is the truth of me. Damn. Although right now that's building in terms of physically being created, the message of this is going to break through into how over the next 6 months from June to December that you communicate this facet of the last 6 months of inner work into your outer world. As you take this supernatural awakening and you build your material world with it over the next 6 months. You didn't do this last year because Saturn was in Sagittarius. So you didn't have a material world to build with because everything was not jacked in for you to actually do substantial things. You were having to actually experiment with different concepts and even make sure you want to know if this is what you want to do. So now that things count with Saturn and Capricorn, yes, I am outright saying that it didn't count before. Okay, it's very controversial to say. And of course, it all builds up, so it counted, but it didn't really count. It didn't really count. Now that Saturn's a Capricorn, it counts. Okay, and this is going to be the first Gemini season that we have with Saturn in Capricorn. So Gemini season with Saturn in Capricorn is an awareness of our power that's real. Oh, wow, this is what I can do with my power. And then we're going to go into Cancer season, and it's like, and you're going to actually challenge someone else with their power, and you're going to have your power, and it's going to be bloody warfare. And then whoever survives until Libra season, it's victory. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Whether it's fun depends on how well you can handle intense drama and vibrations. I always like to keep a good attitude. The reason why it's going to be fun for a lot of you is the thrill of actually harnessing greater power than you have ever been taught was possible will outweigh the stress and responsibility that it will come with, because there's a huge consequence. Yeah, you're awakening great power, but that also means the threats have awakened power too. And there's greater challenges with Saturn and Pluto that will come. Okay. But everything happens for a reason, as I like to say. And before we go into the Peace Mobile, it's very important that you embrace this very abstract understanding of what you can do and what you know about what you can do. Also keep in mind, Mars will be squaring Jupiter and Scorpio. And as we start the transit with Mars squaring Uranus in Taurus, this is what is simultaneously activating our abilities. I was going to say our ability to harness our superpower, but our abilities. You want to think as seriously as you can about how you're applying your abilities, but once again, to go back to the drawing board and to seriously contemplate what are your true abilities. I'm saying it like this because I feel like some of you are selling yourself short. I feel like some of you are thinking about this too realistically and too critically, to where you're thinking about basic ideas, basic powers. MJ Mint said your weakness is your superpower, y'all. There is such amazing truth to this. So look to Pluto too. Pluto is going to reveal a lot of weaknesses for you, okay? But regardless, and Chiron, by the way, too. But also, you know what I mean? Don't shortchange yourself and take your existing abilities and feel like I'm trying to symbolically, in an allegorical way, say that, okay, if I'm a really good writer, if I'm a really good dancer, if I'm a really smart person, the peace dealer is telling me to apply those abilities in much more smarter ways. And I'm talking about, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real superpowers. I'm talking about supernatural ability that, with a collectively shifted, more enlightened and advanced humanity, is birthing just out of consequence of natural human evolution. And it is these superpowers that are going to enhance and augment your already amazing skills. Like, some of you have such powerful Libra energy and Virgo energy, you're going to awaken the superpower to just focus. So you can write A+ papers that are 20 pages each in 3 hours that you don't even have to proofread, just because you focused and sat down and did. And it's going to be a marked improvement of something that you really couldn't do 2 years ago, because you were still figuring out the politics of whether something like this is even possible. Versus now that you have already, over the last 6 months, done to have shown yourself, not only is it possible, but I've done this already. I've actually showed myself that this is being done. Now that you've showed yourself this, it's still a lot more learning. It's still a lot more discovery, but this time it's a lot of very extraordinary utilization and action, baby. So it's okay if you don't necessarily know this. A lot of this is going to be channeled, okay? Before the universe could really tell you how you can do what you do, the universe had to open you up to you, right? Some of you will now start to have concrete evidence over time and experience that will key you into angelic power. Some of you have angelic energy. You have Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini moons or suns or Venuses or Mars, and that carries a certain vibration with it in the earth, to where, with your angelic voice, you can charm people. You can say things that evoke very emotional responses or just lighten a vibration. Okay? If you still had problems accepting that you were an angel in the first place, then your spirit guides couldn't teach you how to use your singing powers, where now there's an intentional focus where you're not just singing and using it. Now you're applying it productively. All right. Now that you have come to terms with this greater potential of who you are and who you can be, this is what's opening up the knowledge of your power. Remember now, this is a very long transit that's going to stem well into November 14th. Because once Mars goes into Pisces, this is the imagination of our power that will now give us the experience of the knowledge that we gained. It's where things get literally fun, because then it'll go back into Aries and we're sparking a new cycle of how we identify with this new knowledge. All right. So other than that, I do want to talk about the retrograde period. This first period from now till June is just the intro period. So from now until June, you're going to experience and do things that you never thought were possible. Okay. Especially for those of you who have Pluto and Scorpio, if you were born from 84 to, I want to say, 1990, or maybe not even 1990, maybe like 1989, you have Pluto at the very beginning degrees of Scorpio, and Mars is going to square this part in your chart. Even if you're born after 90, Mars won't be exactly squaring, but it's still going to affect it. So Pluto, Scorpio, this is what's going to activate this within you very powerfully. But also Pluto, Sag, since it sextiles you, and for Pluto, Libra, since it trines for you, this will draw out your latent unconscious abilities as well. The reason why this first part is very pivotal is because this is where the Mars is going to make contact with the South Node. The North Node at the end of this Mars transit will have already shifted into Cancer. So we're closing out this galactic space-time destiny transit to prepare for the crystallization of our power and our identity, and to step into our ascended selves. And the knowledge of this power, the knowledge of your masculine sexual energy, is everything that will really facilitate powerful Kundalini and heart awakenings, and also everything that's going to allow you to not only do things you never thought possible, but also to achieve a lot of goals you didn't think that you could achieve so quickly, or as soon as you do. The reason why I'm saying never thought possible is the purpose of this Mars and Aquarius transit is to take what you thought you knew about your potential and about what you can accomplish, and show you that there's even more to do. There's even more you can achieve. And there's even more that you didn't even know was possible to achieve. Okay, so with that being said, a lot of the nodes that will be shifting will around November, I believe, the end of November, it shifts into Cancer. Around the same time, Mars shifts out of Aquarius. This is a very cybernetic, extraordinary, supernatural power awakening. I mean, at this point, it's not really an awakening, where we had the awakening last year, we had the activation in the beginning of the year, and now this is like the full expression where it's integrating our power with the rest of society. Remember, I'm talking in ideals. This is going to birth new drama, because as is in every society, you have people who are not pure of heart. And that's the one thing. The deception here is to make you believe that ascension, and to make you believe that spirituality is equated with goodness. Ascension and spirituality is not equated with being a good person. All right, it's just perceptual. A saint and a nun can be very highly spiritual. A mass murderer and a rapist can also be highly spiritual. Being spiritual or being ascended does not automatically make you a good person or a pure saint. So this collective conscious shift is not going to pick or choose who gets ascended. It's something that's happening to everybody. And this is what's going to really bring up politics of greater protection. What can you do with these greater psychic abilities? It's not like that this was just going to happen in humanity like this, where everyone just wakes up with quirks and it's like, oh, wow, I have superpowers. Oh, no, someone just robbed a bank with their superpowers. This is a real life. This isn't necessarily a movie. So a lot of these supernatural expressions of your powers are based off of talents that you spent your entire life since a child growing from your body, actually expressing, practicing. That's the foundation upon which what will happen in this era, you're actually taking it to the next level. But that's why Mars does not transit Aquarius in one day. Mercury does not transit Taurus in one day. Only the moon transits that quickly. It still needs like 2.5 days. So it's very instrumental of how a lot of this is going to be gradual. A lot of you by now have a good understanding of what you have done and can do at Mars and Aquarius as you simultaneously step out of the portal will help you understand the knowledge of what you're doing, the higher meaning of what you're doing, the higher perspective, and also how to connect this with others. This is when you're going to really see the knowledge of who in your life is compatible with your power and your skill set and what you desire as well. Once Mars retrogrades, from now until August, people all over the world are going to be astounded at the extraordinary capabilities that they're expressing in very much greater ways. To something as simple as over the next 2 weeks, someone using their new smartphone for the first time, and that smartphone has an app on it that completely integrates a lot of their imaginative experience and overlaps it with maybe like smart Google glasses. And it's like they're experiencing a new world. This is going to have politics. What if these smart Google glasses allow me to see through my neighbor's wall? Is that politically correct? You know, that's a small example to a huge example, to where you find out that you connect with a soulmate and the suit, because your energies connect so powerfully. Every time you kiss that soulmate, time stops. And it's like, oh, snap. We actually have shared power together. How do we integrate this with our lives? How do we get through this? Everything about Aquarius, whenever you say, oh my gosh, that's freaky, that's weird, that's Aquarius. The definition of weird is of or pertaining to supernatural quality, quality that is out of this world, quality that is extraordinary. Congratulations, my friends, you are here. And every amount of time you focus expanding your awareness and knowledge of the power you're capable of is going to be time and money well spent fully investing in yourself. You're going to notice now more than ever the presence of agency in your life. I know some of you have been open up. Some of you have been seeing more because we finished Saturn and Sag. So it's like, you know who's an agent in your life. You know, people who interrupt or kind of like step into a moment that you're having that cuts it off right when you're about to make a realization, only to kind of, you know, point you on other stuff. And in other ways, you also may do this to people too. But regardless, one thing that it's allowing you to really understand at greater length is the secret of you. Jupiter in Scorpio wants to reveal the true secret of you. All right, depending on your sign, it'll let you know where this is. For Taurus, the secret of you has to do with your relationship and the way you relate with others. Whereas Scorpio, it's directly you. And this is very important. There's certain people who realize that they couldn't get certain things from you, and their true colors are showing. And with much of this energy that is allowing you to ascend, you want to be very mindful, all right, of how powerfully you allow yourself to teach yourself. This is going to require you step out of your comfort zone and to do things you're not normally used to doing so that you can experience things you're not usually used to experiencing. All right. The key here is that this is also going to be squaring Jupiter retrograde, even after Jupiter goes, I almost said goes possessed, but even after Jupiter goes direct. And it's definitely going to really trigger certain facets of people that you may have never, you know, thought you would see, but because your eyes are open and because your power is just kind of awakening on its own, it's integrating a deeper part of your personality. Okay. Now here's another thing that I have to speak of. When it comes to the energy of your unconsciousness, when it comes to this unseen vibration, you know, and shout out to Jennifer who says, Michael, I love what I have seen of Dolo. He has sped up my evolution like crazy. That's something that Aries are really good at doing. They accelerate you up to speed. It's definitely a very fire way, but it's important because, you know, the integrity you're walking with now that Pluto's in Capricorn is taking something in you that was a very small force, but has been growing subtly over the course of your life and is now ready to manifest in very real practical ways. I would like to now, during this period, channel. Right now, I've given you a base foundation with the astrology of what to expect with this transit. From May to August, this is where you're going to, in some cases, for the first time of many of you, fully now use your superpowers in new ways. It's not necessarily that you're using it for the first time. Mars in Capricorn was part of that. But now you're using it in new ways. You're going to be redirecting the energy in different ways that really align more with the knowledge of who you are. And then from August to October, when Mars goes retrograde, is that right? That's not right. Sorry. Mars goes retrograde from June 27th to August 27th. So from now until June, we're going to have that first taste. Then August 27th, Mars goes direct, 28 degrees Capricorn, and we complete whatever we may have failed at before when Mars left Capricorn. From August 27th to November 14th, okay, Mars is going to transit completely through Aquarius. And once it gets out of Aquarius, in November of the 14th, you're going to be at a very crucial, pivotal area in your life where you, at an initial sense, have truly understood how to use your superpowers. This is going to prepare you to a whole new 6 months of stepping into greater supernatural evolution. Because over this transit, Mars in Aquarius the sun's going to go from Gemini season back to Scorpio season. Okay, November 14th, going back into the portal as you're building, you know what I'm saying, your world with these greater abilities, which is profound that Mars will be there that long. So while Mars is retrograding from June 27th to August 27th, we're going to pass Cancer season and have that final eclipse in Leo. And this is going to be the final showdown to where now everything that you wanted to manifest through to your heart, you now have the ascended knowledge to really apply and to finish and to completely complete and succeed at certain things forever, finally move on. So that now from August to November, you're moving forward, and the whole portion of superpower politics, you take any challenges that occurred with integrating your awareness and power in society that came up from now up until August, and you now integrate it and create a brand new sense of where to take this art, okay? So, let me see. Okay, cool. So yeah, now that you've had a very basic understanding of the transits that are occurring, I want to build upon this foundation and speak exclusively about the spirit police. The spirit police is going to be heavily established and integrated. The spirit police is an ever-present force that governs people's minds. It governs people's thoughts. It governs people's feelings. Some of you guys will be thinking about something and then all of a sudden the thought leaves because you get mind swiped. Sometimes information gets interfered. The spirit police is a very real force. And ideally, the spirit police is supposed to represent the balance of quantum consciousness. But in our corrupt state, the spirit police is corrupt and it's being ruled by the evil alien force and dark negative spirits. So this is what's going to add so much craziness to the superpower politics, where you're going to have encounters with the spirit police or people who the spirit police possess in order to distract you. This square that Mars is going to have to Jupiter and Scorpio is going to give you wisdom about this knowledge you're gaining about yourself, right? You're going to know certain facets of your power and the wisdom of why it doesn't necessarily, a wisdom of who to tell and wisdom of who not to tell. However, you know what I mean? There are going to be a lot of distractions. The first part of this, you want to be mindful of who is distracting you. Who and what is distracting you? What is being used to distract you? Every time you do something to focus and to think about what it is you're awakening, what it is you're actually activating, what it is you're actually doing, what comes in the way to distract you, whether in a good or bad way, because it's usually going to be as a good way. It's going to be as a non-threatening way, right, to probably give you some wisdom, but at the wrong time, right, to distract. So be mindful. A lot of this is the square effect. And with Mars that is sextiling Chiron and Aries, this is to very powerfully heal sexuality at a very basic level, in the sense of how you identify with yourself sexually and with who. you want to really be open, because during this period, for those of you who are sexually active, you're going to be introduced to people who are not your type at all. But through those experiences, realize that you actually have greater sexual compatibility with them. And this is where, once again, we open up to greater quantum possibility. And it's not that they don't have to be your type, but that's just the theme here. Don't necessarily put down an opportunity just because it doesn't seem right at first. That's the whole point. To show you something different, completely different, like weird different, okay? But still extraordinary, still amazing. So within the spirit police, there's certain agents, okay? There's certain matrix agents, right? That are going to be instilled, and they're going to come through the cardinal signs. If you look at police, the police that you have in jurisdiction over several states are part of the executive branch, the president of the United States, which controls the army, or is more so the executive officer of the army, as well as the police force. Everything about this is cardinal. They enforce law. So that's Cancer, that's Libra, and that's Capricorn. However, because Pluto is in Capricorn, the spirit police is corrupt. You have some people who are too extreme towards justice, and you have some people who are completely corrupt. So these vibrations sponsor these agents, okay? During the superpower awakening, the special agents are going to come greater into form through the Cancer vibration. And a lot of Cancers are special agents. They're agents with special skills that they keep hidden, and they're employed by intelligence agencies as special weapons or secret weapons. And then you have cosmic agents that is sponsored by Libra. Cosmic agents, which a lot of Libras are, but it's, when I say sponsor, keep this in mind. It's like how aliens and extraterrestrials are sponsored by Aquarius, in the sense where just because you're a Libra representative and you have Sun in Libra, it doesn't mean you're a cosmic agent. Just because you have Sun in Cancer, it doesn't mean that you're a special agent. However, a lot of special agents have their Sun in Cancer. A lot of cosmic agents have their Sun in Libra. So it's not reflexive, but it just kind of works in that sense. And cosmic agents are all around very efficient and very accurate at what they do. Cosmic agents service the other world and this world, and they're able to really enforce karmic law astrally. In other words, whenever somebody kind of uses their superpower for evil, you're going to get cosmic agents sent after you. But because of the corruption, it's not really for evil. This is all now a game of vested interest. If it's not in the vested interest of the spirit police and you're not using your power the way they want you to, it's through these vibrations they're going to twist things. And then, of course, with Capricorn, you have the elite agents. A lot of Capricorns are elite agents. They have covers. They're very responsible people, but they also have very mastered skills that, similar to secret or special agents, they keep secret and they keep hidden. Elite agents are like cosmic agents, except they're the creme de la creme. So intelligence agencies kind of will have like 5 cosmic agents, 2 special agents, and like 1 elite agent if they can afford the elite agent. Like these are where you have the legendary agents, okay? And this is definitely, if you are an agent and you're watching this, you're going to get approached by new intelligent agencies. You're going to get approached by independent intelligent agencies. And also, Aries is being introduced as an agent too. Aries has been worked on. Gemini and Aries got banished to the bestial realm. Before Aries was a ram, it was the prototype original agent. Aries was the agent that the special, the cosmic, and elite agents came from. Aries was that prototype, the original. For example, 007 might be an original agent, even though he's more elite at the Capricorn level. So the Aries, but the thing is, a lot of Aries are not agents. This is why they got reduced to the bestial realm, because in the corruption ever since 2008, 10 years ago, a lot of Aries are like, I don't want to do this agent shit. It's not really real. It went against their revolutionary edges. So a lot of Aries have not embraced the agent stuff because it goes against their morals. All right. There's a certain kind of politics within there too. And they're more gangsters. There we go. Aries has kind of embraced the more dark side as of recent, where they still have good motives, but they don't have that trust in the establishment. Some for good reason too. Some have been showed they can't trust the establishment, so they're kind of going through a darker path. And not every Aries has good motives too. Some of their hearts are corrupted. So keep that in mind. All right. It's definitely very juicy gossip for a Gemini messenger like me. The Galactic Federation is going to start making itself known, and a lot of the programming that you see fed to humanity, and a lot of the ways they introduce greater concepts and ideologies, and the Invisible Empire is also going to be making themselves known. But the only people who will be able to perceive the Invisible Empire in full are fire and water signs. If you have sun, moon, or rising, but really more so sun or moon in Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you're going to be incorporating the Invisible Empire within your reality. The Invisible Empire is also used to be a very ideal organization, and it's a literal invisible empire of genies and of other sacred beings that express themselves through your imagination, also through your ideas and thoughts. There is a corporealization of this energy for the first time in a long time. So this is a world that Pisces lives in. The Invisible Empire is very real to every Pisces. It's just in this material realm, it's hard of a concept for the majority of people to know. If there were, of course, it's only 30% of people, and not even 30%, maybe like 20 to 30% of people who have a very close connection to the Invisible Empire. This percentage is going to slowly raise. So for those of you who have already been aware of it, it's coming through. A lot of this superpower politics over the next 6 months is what's going to bring a lot of crackdown on psychic readings. That's why I'm very grateful to do what I do. I'll never tell anyone that I'm a fortune teller. I tell people I'm a lightning sage. A lightning sage is not a recognized class in this world outside of a video game. Maybe in ancient times, but it's something that kind of forces someone to really have to know a little bit more of how it's realistically applied. Like, what do lightning sages do? What is the aptitude? And a lot of you are going through this too. A lot of you are realizing you're not really just an astrologer. You're not really just a tarot reader. You're not really just a psychic. You're not really just a counselor. Okay, so there's going to be a crackdown on what constitutes what's a psychic reading? How real is this? As you can tell, there are a lot of shams in this industry. There are a lot of people who can make a very reasonable living doing nothing but just lying to people, pretending that they're a medium, pretending that they can hear spirits. All you have to do is just employ a bit of cold reading, and not everyone thinks critically. That's why I'm grateful for this. I have done readings and had readings with people that are a real deal, where, you know, people talk about their experience. I have reviews, I have testimonials. These are the things that are going to show others who's the real deal versus who's not, as well as real life experience, where you're going to be confronted by people in your real life who want firsthand witness of what you do, of this spiritual path you walk with integrity. And if you are real, then you have nothing to fear. All you have to fear is if you're just fake. And I don't necessarily mean if someone else thinks you're fake, because there's always going to be someone who does not jive with you, who does not connect with you. There's always going to be people who don't resonate with you. But I mean, deep in your heart, if there's anything you're not lying to yourself about, if there's anything you know you don't have to hide, then there's nothing that you have to fear. And it is what it is. Interestingly enough, you know what I mean? And no, I don't have any certificates. That's one part. When it comes to Reiki, when it comes to astrology, I don't have any certificates, and I want to keep it that way. I'm not opposed to that. If any, they're making accredited astrology schools now. So if any of you have the opportunity to do that, I think that's a great way of making history. It's just something as an Aquarius midheaven I'm not really wanting to do. I'm really opposed to certifications. Actually, that's not true. I actually may personally make certifications when I create whatever course, but yeah, it's nothing that I really have in any crafts. Whoever said that, they're not telling the truth. But anyway, yeah, these are just concepts that I really want to help you step into again. This is the rebirth and healing of masculinity. For those of you who know the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, this is it, my friends. I'm going to tell you the story. I'm going to tell you two parables, and I'm going to try and make it contemporary. Before I try and do this, remember, embrace your inner creep, embrace your insecurities, embrace things that others want you to make you feel guilty about yourself. And I don't mean like bad things that you know you need to change. I'm talking about facets of who you are, which you have every right to be, but you know, people think they're cool. People think they cool. But anyway, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, three gangsters, okay? They were three people who are woke in a world that's asleep and doesn't really know how powerful spirit truly is through them, okay? So the reason why I'm telling you this story is you're going to have this experience. Every single person watching is going to have this Mars and Aquarius experience. Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad Negro. That is hilarious, Lily626. That is hilarious. That is super hilarious, actually. I'm trying not to laugh. But yes, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, I'm going to paraphrase the story. This is around the times of Daniel. And yeah, these three dudes were not playing around. There was this megalomaniac king who wanted everybody to bow down to the statue that was erected and the monument of him that was erected. And everyone wasn't trying to say no to that power and authority. Pluto and Saturn and Capricorn. Let me paint this picture for you, because everyone who did not do this, they died. Or no one died because no one dared oppose that authority. Everyone who wouldn't do this had to suffer death. That is exactly Saturn conjunct Pluto and Capricorn. It's the full extreme exertion of the system to where you don't want to do what Saturn says, which is an executive command from a system, then it's met with death, extreme consequences. like death. Okay? And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they ain't nobody's, they ain't worshiping nobody like that. They don't know that God. They don't know that God. They don't know that deity. They don't acknowledge the king like that. So they did not bow down. And the soldiers were like, you have to bow down to that. So you know how Saturn is a gas planet? You have to do this, but it's not really there. Like you don't have to really. That's the Aries square right here, standing individually. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, no worries, Ali Shanti. Thank you so much for donating anyway. I really do appreciate that. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. By the way, the fact that I'm telling you this story, the dark forces hate me for this because it's something simple that if people see other people with courage in their hearts, it'll be fired. And when I say when other people see you do this, it's going to be fired in their hearts to do too. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are like, that's not happening, homie. Like, no. And they're like, okay, you think you can stand up to all this power and authority. I have all these soldiers here. You think in front of all these people, you can show them that my power is not absolute. Burn them, throw them in the fire. And so they were bound up and they were escorted to a fire chamber. And this fire chamber was so hot that the soldiers that threw them in, two of them got burned. Two or one of them got burned because the fire was so hot and they were in there. Okay. Only to find out later that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and this is how I know this is real, honestly. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are in the fire pit dancing with angels. Like, it's lit, it's lit, it's lit, it's lit, it's lit, it's lit. The king was like, how? How? All right, let them out. Never mind. You guys don't have to kneel anymore. You straight. We straight. And they not only got away scot-free, they were able to change that law. Okay? We lit. We lit. The angels were just in the fire pit moonwalking like, we lit. We lit. We lit. We lit. What's good? What's good? Abednego was hitting that new dance. Meshach was hitting the nay-nay. This is the, yeah, pretend that you didn't see me just trying to do the nay-nay right now. All right. And Abednego was just out here, hitting them old dance moves in the fire. And the king was like, what? I didn't take any drugs. What am I looking at? They had drugs back then too, y'all. I'm gonna show you. And the crucial part of this story here is, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they did not know that angels were going to save them. And they were talking smack too. They're like, we're not bowing to nothing. Like, when they were told to go to the fire pit, that was it. They didn't switch up. They weren't like, oh, it's all good. We finna be lit. We finna be lit. They had time to think about it. And they were like, you know what? My belief in something greater than all this is worth me dying in this fire pit. They were prepared to die. They didn't know that they were about to hit the nay-nay in that fire pit to just know the ever-present existence of true angelic energy, okay, of angels, of supernatural beings, okay? And they were prepared to die for what they believed in. Okay? Keep that in mind. This is that Scorpio Aquarius square. And do you think everyone else, this was just 3. That's how legendary. That's why there's so very few legends. If everyone could be a legend, everyone would be a legend. Everyone has great intentions. It was 3 out of a whole nation of people. Do you think other people didn't want to have the courage to get up? Some people had kids to get home to. Some people had work in the morning. Some people, they just didn't want their time bothered. It's not like they're any of worse people, but not everybody, when it counts, stands up for what is there. I know this is just a Bible story, but you will have that moment within these 5 months where you have to stand up for your beliefs at the risk of losing everything. And I promise you, you will get lit with those angels. When everyone has written you off for standing up with yourself, they're going to see you lit with the angels. Like, what's good? What's good? What's good? But you have to be so firm. And you have to be so firm in your conviction where it's like, you know what? Even if the angels don't get lit, that's just who I am. I'm not switching up. I'm not going to compromise my reality. I'm not going to let the spirit police take my power. Okay. This is very much like Civil War. All right, Captain America. And by the way, the reason why I use fictional examples is to spite get real. Like I deliberately use fantasy fictional examples just so people who are so fixated on, you know, the real world, like, why doesn't he use real life examples that are more realistic? No, because I'm a dick. But Captain America did not compromise his integrity, and he became temporarily branded as a bad guy. Captain America and Romanov, they did not. Well, I don't know about Romanov, but Captain America did not compromise his integrity because he knew the truth. He knew the truth about his friend Bucky. This is off of the. This is another Bible story. It's off the Gospel of Buck. It's off the Gospel of Wait, hold on. Hail Hydra. It's off the book of Steve Rogers. There we go. The book of Steve Rogers, chapter 15, Civil War. Okay. Chapter 15 to chapter 18. Read it up. It's the book of Steve, chapter 15 to chapter 17. Um, it's when he rescues Bucky, and he knew the truth about Bucky. He knew the truth about Bucky, and it didn't stop him, bro. Actually, very. I'm sorry, y'all. It's the book of Steve, Nikki. The book of Steve Rogers. It's an epic book. Yeah. So you really want? Yeah, that Thor series is dope, though. The book of Odin's Son is so radical. It's amazing. You have to read it with the actual Asgard accent, though. The Asgard accent is what you should read the book of Odinson with. Okay. There's 3 books too. There's the first book of Odinson, the second book of Odinson, and then the third book of Odinson, which was Ragnarok. Okay. So just be very mindful. All right. Captain America was in the system, and because he believed in the truth versus protocol and what was right, he compromised everything. He didn't know that he was going to get rehired for another contract for Infinity War. He was ready to lose his status as an Avengers, just so that he can live his truth. Because what ended up being the truth? Okay, Bucky was not a bad person. Read it. The book of Steve Rogers, chapter 16, verse 72. Oh, Bucky, you are real and you are true. I will do all that I can to defend you. This was before chapter 17, where they beat the smack out of Iron Man. Okay. And when you walk your truth, sometimes Thanos is Saturn embodied. Interesting, Sean. Interesting. When you live your truth, sometimes, you know, not everyone's going to understand. Because you have entities that are responsible for more than just themselves, sometimes executive decisions have to be made, okay? And it definitely, you know what I'm saying, can sully what's really true. And some of you are gonna have to really, once again, in order to fully embrace these superpowers, really, you know, decide whether you're gonna stay true or compromise. Okay. Y'all stay tuned. Soon they're gonna have the finished book of Wakanda, the book of Wakanda, and the book of T'Challa, the first and second book of T'Challa, Guardian of Wakanda. Wakanda forever! Wakanda forever! Wakanda forever! All right. Anyway, it is what it is. See, y'all know Wakanda is a real place. No, I'm from Nigeria. I'm not from Wakanda, so I don't have any of this, unfortunately. It is what it is. I'm from a real third world country. I don't have like an actual secret base in Nigeria that's just buku filled with vibranium, unless I didn't know. And I actually have a tattoo on my underarm. Anyway, I'm going to go into the Peace Mobile. You guys are awesome in the live chat. And yeah, let me give you a visual of what these transits will bring. Wakanda forever! Okay, so as you can see, Mars is 29 degrees, November 14th, 2018. And the sun is 22 degrees Scorpio. Uranus is back in Aries, and Chiron is back in Pisces, baby. And Neptune is retrograde, and the North Node is in the Cancer, and the Moon is in the Aquarius, and the Venus is retrograding. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And Jupiter is gonna be in Sagittarius. Huge shifts, my friends. This is around the time, as I was saying, that all the final boss lessons that you may have failed inexplicably, even though you might have lied and said that you passed, you're going to actually achieve max victory. It's like you're coming back with a vengeance. This retrograde's going to be lit, by the way. I didn't even know Venus was retrograding this year. So let's go back in time, because before we have all this, okay, we are going to see initially the start of this transit, even as soon as the 15th, 16th, 17th, and now blah. And we are 27 degrees Taurus. So that's very significant. We start the transit off with the sun in Taurus, and we end the transit off with the sun in Scorpio. So what is this? Okay, I hope you don't know. I hope you don't think it's a coincidence. This fixed energy is you harnessing your energy over the next 6 months, taking the physical manifestation and manifesting a greater way to deal with others, to create desire, and to establish a new foundation with your manifested superpowers. I would now like to bring you to Exhibit 2, where Mars goes retrograde. This will be Cancer season, when we're in the bloody warfare, the 1000th year war, blood war, and the sun is opposite your walk. Over here at Saturn, the motherfucking almighty with the death hair, all right? And this is just going to be all sorts of dramatic. But before then, we must go back to May. You see, from May up until then, we step through the portal with Gemini. We have this dope-ass trine right here. And once again, from here until the retrograde, 9 degrees, I want to bring your attention to the 7th of June, where we're going to have this opposition while we're stepping through the portal after the full moon. That is it, my friends. Albums are gonna drop that'll change your life too. And that's gonna be it. And that's for me and you. And yeah, whatever. So this is going to be even more pivotal and instrumental because this is going to be the crystallization of how we can fully download this knowledge before the inevitable retrograde as we, of course, move forward with this eclipse. All right, come on now. Put this in your calendars. July 27th. Huge, epic drama. This is like new conflicts and drama being created for you, and it's going to be lit for all the wrong reasons. And of course, as we retrograde back into Capricorn, this is where over these 2 weeks, you're going to really come to terms with what you needed to complete. See this moon right here, and then we're finishing Virgo. Bam. It's direct. Saturn's going to be direct in September, and these are retrograding. So once this goes direct, we will have at a very crucial, pivotal period been able to profoundly come to terms with how we integrate the challenges of our budding supernatural awareness into our community, really with facts and details based on the previous 6 months of experience and even more than that. And this is everything that we're going to take forward with us back into society. And this is really like a very cheesy and corny movie where like the first part from June, it's like you come into the school and it's like, you're a nerd or you're not cool. And then it's like now during this period, you have to just have a montage and certain scenes to kind of like prove yourself. And now you're going back into society. And now people are like, you're kind of cool. We almost like you. Oh, wow. Okay, you're really cool. Because this is the victory in Libra. And then it's like, oh, no way. And then Jupiter is about to, oh, this is going to be lit. Right. And then, of course, you know, bam. We finish the transit. And you have connected with your collective. This is very deep stuff, my friends. I really do want to bring that analogy up about having to deal with people who try and archetypalize you in ways that aren't you. So you're going to have to, this is going to really change a lot of people's perception and social skills. A lot of the retrograde period are going to take things that women have been for the longest time pissed off about men, and y'all are going to do some very threatening purging on the toxic masculinity that occurs simultaneously. A lot of the divine masculine energy as well is going to rise up and fix certain issues between the feminine and the masculine, as well as really the politics over how sexual intention is meant to be embraced and shared. So a lot that has caused social anxiety and awkwardness is going to be revisited head on, and there's going to be a lot of improvement. Even though there's a lot of like very controversial energy that's going to be introduced a lot, this is going to be one of the good things. It's going to be great for decreasing depression and encouraging greater courage, encouraging greater like ability to just go out and get to know somebody, despite the fact that, you know, it's not really the safest thing to do, but it's still one of the best things you could do. Okay. Shout out to Lilac Ocean 420 talking about awkward guys are adorable. You guys gotta show us weirdos love. Okay. Y'all don't show weirdos enough love. Yeah, we could be a little bit weird and creepy, but I mean, so who cares? Y'all need to show us some more love. You need to get you an awkward ass homie. You get you a weird ass nigga. Okay. WAN. Get you a WAN. Go get you a WAN girl, a weird ass nigga. Okay. We are out here. We deserve love too. All right. We can be very crazy. Okay. Y'all are out here calling Gemini men crazy like you haven't had a weird fanatic obsession with crazy your whole life and you just don't even know it. So y'all got to show us crazy motherfuckers love too. All right. This one's for the weirdos, the crazy mofos. Shoot, even the nerds and the geeks and the dorks. All right. You got to show us dorks love. We're out here. We deserve love too. We deserve wanton lust coming in our direction and not from a thirst trap and not from a catfish. All right. I think Venus, Mars, I hope you hearing me. I think it's about enough time you stop sending catfish to us. All right. Like what's good? Like in fact, I'm not gonna be like send. I got Mars and Aries. I go out and get what I want, first of all. But you know what, universe? I would like to meet less catfishes in our life. I know this I love the thirst traps. I love the thirst traps. That's just a common secret of mine. I'm gonna sometimes act like I don't like the thirst traps, but I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. It is what it is. But yeah, the catfish, no. Y'all need to show weirdos more love. Y'all need to give love to us creepers too. Like we creep all those hours spent creeping. We creep so that you don't have to creep. It's 12th house energy. It's martyr energy. Like it's 8th house. We're the creepers so that you don't have to be a creep. And that's the thanks we get. That's honestly the thanks we get, just labeled as some some creepy crawler. I gotta feel all weird and guilty for being a creep, even though everyone naturally has an inner creep that you, for some reason, might just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, suppress just because you afraid to let your inner insecurities or weird self out. Okay, y'all really have the nerve. Y'all really have the nerve. Okay, screw the stalkers though. Screw the stalkers. Stalkers are weird, and I mean real stalkers. I mean people who wait at your job. If you wait at someone's job because you're waiting to see them, you're weird. You need help. If you're going somewhere because you're stalking them and you're following them before they go to class, and you're out here making people feel threatened and unsafe, you lame as hell. But if you creep on someone's social media profile, if you creep on a picture, if you try to talk to someone and it comes creepy, there's nothing wrong with that. All right? You gotta show love to the creepers and the weirdos. All right? Just let you know. I'm just letting you know. Okay? Especially when y'all be creeping too. Let's see the most hypocritical shit ever. You ever just see a girl like, oh my God, girl, this dude keeps stalking my profile and he keeps messaging me. But anyway, I'm about to go stalk my crush's profile and my MCM's profile, girl. Can you help me stalk his profile? Like, y'all are the worst. Y'all are the worst. Y'all would just get mad at somebody for DMing you, and then you go stalk someone else's whole profile with your girlfriend. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! This is psychologically damaging, okay? It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm gonna get out my feelings. Just know that the better you're able to embrace these facets of yourself, the better that you won't fall for any bit of coercion and manipulation, because transits like this can take a lot of what you have and stuff you're not proud of yourself, and people can take that and try and manipulate you with that and make fun of you for that. But if you embrace it, if it's something that, you know what I'm saying, you actually doesn't bother you, it's not, it may not be something that you do, but it's something that it doesn't hurt your security in yourself, then you're not going to have to worry. And let me say that one more time. Like there could be certain facets of yourself, certain weaknesses, certain things that you're not proud of that people can take from your past and use towards you. That's why I make light of it. That's why it's very comical, because at the very end of the day, it's not something that's definitely, you know what I'm saying, really damaging. This is saving anything that, of course, is very bad. Like if you have a problem with alcohol and this gets revealed, then by all means, do what you need to do to work on that problem. I'm really just more so talking about certain facets about yourself that are more misunderstood and account for the social anxiety or idiosyncrasies that may make you be a little bit different. And everybody has this, by the way. This isn't something that no one has. There's a part of everybody that makes them different. It's something that doesn't fit in with wherever they are. If you even take the cliche, stereotypical in crowd versus the out crowd, a bunch of crew of insiders, there's still someone in that in group who's still a little bit different from that in group that they kind of have to deal with in integrating. It's just a facet of human experience. Some people suppress it, some people embrace it. But you want to be in a position to embrace your insecurities so that when dark forces use your insecurities in public spaces to try and get you to put your head down, to try and get you to feel less confident in yourself, you don't let that stop you. It's a very comic tactic. People who don't speak truth and people who are not intelligent, they don't know how to debate. They don't know how to argue. So when you speak truth, when you say something that's true, all they can do is deceive. All they can do is deflect the truth of what you said with something irrelevant about you. All right. Like, oh, well, it doesn't matter because you're this, you've done this. Oh, it doesn't matter that you're talking about this. Who are you to say this? Which that has nothing to do with anything. For those of you with children, and let me just prove it. For those of you with children, like if you knew, if someone knew, if your child was kidnapped and someone knew and told you the truth of where your child was, would you automatically be like, oh, well, you used to be a robber. You're a robber, or you killed someone, or you're a murderer. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to listen to, who are you to tell me the truth? You're not going to care about who says the truth, because the truth is the truth. All right. So there will be people who try and shoot the messenger. And in an effort to kind of delegitimate, they do this in politics all the time. Just think about the average presidential election. Mudslinging occurs to where it's like, oh, well, you shouldn't vote for this president because in the past, he or she did this, or in the past, he or she did that. Things that are literally irrelevant to the truth that that person is speaking, or the message that that person is speaking. For you who has an embracing of your insecurities, when somebody does this, y'all, this can actually backfire. I'm giving you tools to help this backfire, because the whole psychological motive for someone to bring this up is not necessarily to say anything that's true. And some of you get too caught in the intellectual politics of this to where you're arguing with someone about whether it's true about what they said. those people don't have any care about whether what they say is true. They're manipulating their words so that they can get you out of your emotional confidence. They're using their words to shift your emotional space. And so when you inadvertently respond and transmute that intention and not act like you don't care about what they said, but genuinely, wholeheartedly speak your truth and embrace your insecurities, it backfires on them because the sole motive for them to get you in your feelings and be like, oh, damn, you're not doing it, bounces off. It's like, oh, yeah, you're right. What's the normal thing most people will do when someone says something to get you in your feelings and they say something about you? It's so that you could be like, oh, what did you say about me? Or damn. But if you genuinely embrace this and it's like, yeah, everything you said about me was true. I was crazy when I did that, or I'm crazy to believe that. You're right. Do you feel good about yourself? Do you want a trophy for mentioning that? It shifts the energy. It doesn't magically change the situation, but it definitely puts a shield on you to where you're not going to let someone else take a facet of you and make you feel any less of it. Like that's what most people do. Most people are under the guise that they're smart or powerful. They're not powerful at all. They're just emotionally manipulative and they're deceptive. That's not true power. All right. People think that they're seductive, but they're very deceptive. That's not true seduction. And inherently, it's just like magic. There's a lot of illusion magic, but magic, that's not the true essence of magic. A lot of seduction out is mainly deceptive. Deception is inherent in seduction because of how it's used, but that is not the true nature of seduction. That's false seduction. It's employed by a lot and it's very effective, but that's not the true nature of seduction. And only an amateur needs to be deceptive to seduce. You should have the juice with your truth to make some stuff happen. But not a lot of people do. So they make up for whatever they feel is insecure within themselves. And then they project on you, who doesn't need all that, like something's wrong with you. It's all psychological warfare. And it's in these superpower politics that you can turn the game around. You never have to react with anger. You never have to let somebody push your buttons. You can be present and conscious with them and see it as it is. Call out the dark force as it is and shine your truth bright. Okay? Because the courage to speak one's truth in the face of falsities is ultimately powerful, ultimately influential, ultimately truly seductive. It is what it is. Okay? So before I draw the cards for the signs, please be aware I still have for the next 3 days, 19th, 20th. On the 20th, I will be ending my sale. Let me see. On the 20th, I will be ending my sale and my prices will go back up. So, yep, for the next 2 days, I'll still have 20-minute readings available and I will still have my hour and 30-minute readings available at the discounted price. Go to thepeacedealer.com so that you can access those. I also have my Patreon link in the description box below. Let me edit it there right now because I forgot to put it in there. Please make sure you join my Patreon page and join the community. The link is in the description box below. You can get access to exclusive horoscopes as well as other goodies. All right, like my quantum healing ceremonies. Other than that, y'all, oops, I don't see it here. There we go. Other than that, yeah, I'm going to draw the cards now. Aries, Aries moon, Aries rising. Mars in Aquarius is going to allow you to really step into greater power in the way you actually move with your collective. Since it's in your 11th house, you're going to experience a lot of transformation by who you trust with this power that's budding within you. And being as the house of gains, we have assured material gain with the Four of Pentacles, and this will really inspire a lot much greater recognition. Taurus, Taurus moon, Taurus rising, Mars in your 10th house is definitely going to allow you to achieve greater career goals through the relationships that will bless you with very powerful people. And we do have the Emperor. So a lot of this transit will allow you to step into greater power through greater discipline. And this is going to be a great transit to really experience. This is the card of power, actually. So you're going to really harness the supreme sovereign part of your power. Gemini, Gemini moon, Gemini rising. Mars in Aquarius is going to inspire greater belief that you can act off on. And a lot of the changes to your lifestyle you're making will really have you act on deep-seated cosmic beliefs that will open up your world. And actually, for a lot of you Gemini risings and Gemini suns, this Mars transit is you embarking on your adventure for the first time. So we have the Six of Cups. This is the soulmate card. It's during this transit that a very key significant soulmate to you, Gemini, is going to establish a very important connection to you from your past life, in the sense where you really awaken kind of ancient memories together. So keep that in mind. It's meant to really connect in an innocent way through this period. And both of you are going to connect through your superpowers. Cancer, Cancer moon, Cancer rising. This Mars in Aquarius transit is going to really tap in to how dangerous it is for you to trust the wrong people, because your psychic ability is expressing itself in ways that you can no longer hide, because your intuition is just so powerful. People are like, damn, you shouldn't have known that, but you do. You're going to inadvertently expose with these powers their other people's ulterior motives, and this is going to instrumentally transform the way you deal with others, giving you a stronger edge, but also making you a lot of enemies. We do have the Four of Wands, though, so there's still victory for you. You're going to gain a much stronger connection to your community. You're going to gain just a much stronger connection overall, and this is just going to be very amazing results for your hard work. There's lots of serendipity here. You're going to really be celebrating and encouraging a lot of positivity. Leo, Leo moon, Leo rising. Mars in your 7th house is going to bring out some open enemies. You're going to have open antagonists. You're going to have people who are openly going to spread their hipster charm about why you're not cool like you think you're cool. And you want to really just open up to this discourse, because the positive part about this is a very amazing ability to really extend forth the influence you have towards others. But let's just be real, Leo. People love to hate on you. So don't take any of this personally. Whoever's salty is just going to come out in the open. We do have the Death card. So, you know, see, a lot of people don't know that Leos are sorcerers. Leo has a lot of this very positive energy, but Leo has a dark side too, and it is very evil. And it's not like they're evil. The mastered Leo is able to integrate their dark evil side, which every zodiac sign has, which every person has, and they're able to let the light supersede, which the sun will always do. But Mars in your 7th house is just going to probably have you hex some people, and they probably make. But anyway, this superpower politics is talking about great transformation too within your relationships with others, and the way you enforce your personal rules, especially. Okay, Virgo, Virgo moon, Virgo rising. You're definitely going to map out a much greater way of how you have to fight for work, fight for contracts. I'm gonna pull two cards for you, but there's a greater, more genius application of what you do and how you live your life that you will be acting on. And topics, ideas, and techniques you have been experimenting with implementing in your life, you're going to take action on. This is going to be weird at first because this advanced lifestyle you will be living in a much more aggressive quality will isolate you at first before it redirects you with the right people who align with this. But interestingly enough, we do have the Five of Pentacles. So this is talking about a small hit in your finances, but more so the alienation you may feel. Worry not, because this is leading you to your wish come true. A lot of you are having to kind of switch gears here because you're entering different lines of work. You're trying to see how marketable you are. And this transit is going to allow you to understand that certain things you were aiming for, you're actually overqualified and more valuable than. You might want to look higher. You probably need to be in a higher position than you expect at first. But you may not want to be, but you may still have to be. Libra, Libra moon, Libra rising. Mars in your fifth house is going to attract weird sexual opportunities. And I'm talking about weird. And this is really just to open your heart up to this eccentricity that is possible for you to experience, because not only will this be through sexual experiences, a lot of this is going to take your talents and help you establish great merit with them. But basically, everything that you are, and Libra is a sign of the artist, right? So for those of you who are artists, this is a great period to just completely like share, or not really share your art, but to just aggressively like produce your art. And I don't even say production, because it's really just more about expressing your talents. It's less about other people seeing it, more about you procuring it. And once again, weird sexual experiences that really kind of push the limits between what you're comfortable with. We do have, of course, the Six of Pentacles. So this is going to bring with it great philanthropy and a balancing of material resources. The key word here being financial flow. I do see a lot of you being in a position to help others with money, but if you need financial help, it's there for you, okay? Scorpio, Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising. They're going to be very important changes and distinctions in what you do to really focus a lot on your private life. And there may be small friction and arguments that go on in your home. A lot of you doing what you can to, you know, open up greater freedom in how you stay where you stay is going to create a lot of conflicts. And you have to really come to terms with more advanced ways of sharing yourself privately with others that could inadvertently just end up drawing you further away in a hole. Because I also have the Hermit card. And it's like, because certain facets of your superpowers are so freaky, you're going to quickly realize you can't tell a single soul about this. And you're going to kind of just be like Virgo and Pisces, just having to live in a separate reality from other people, living a double life. Sagittarius, Sagittarius moon, Sagittarius rising. You guys are going to have violent arguments with everyone that you come across, because for some reason, anytime that you express your ideas, people are going to take it way more seriously than they have to. You're just going to have people coming for your head, just arguing with you about every little thing. It's going to be very powerful because a lot of passionate ideas that you have, you'll be acting on it. But trust me when I say, Sagittarius, you're going to say things that are ahead of their time, and people are going to be mad at you for it. People are going to kind of make you feel weird for saying nothing that's not really true. It's just kind of advanced. And just like Luke Rankin said, what else is new? Just really keep in mind, though, that Martian influence will passionately heat up your conversations with people. And it's going to bring up very out there topics for people to seriously consider. We do have the Page of Pentacles, though. So for those of you who've been hustling and really working hard, this is a great breakthrough into more stability. But this is going to take what you've been studying about your craft and really create a lot of practical ways of doing this. So see, a lot of you are saying that it's already begun, and it's like, yo, like multiple Sagittarius have been like, oh yeah, we live this life. It's about to get more savage. Like there's going to be Leo season. Mercury's going to be Leo opposite. You know what I'm saying? Mars and Aquarius. Like people are going to be trying to fight you for okay, now it makes sense because you guys are going to be blunt and you're going to say things that people need to hear, and people are just going to be mad. Like Sagittarius, you're going to get people so in their feelings, and they're going to hate you for that. But it is what it is. Screw it. Capricorn, Capricorn moon, Capricorn rising. You're going to be producing connections. This transit's going to have you produce very strong connections with others. And it could you're going to be acting off the network you have. So you're going to really be experiencing people come to be utilized by and through you. It's going to be really great for making a lot of productive friendships. Just make sure you're not being used for your time. We do have the Sun and Gemini card, the Ten of Swords. So, I mean, we do have Pluto and Saturn in your sign, but, you know, there's definitely something that's coming to an end. And this comes like this. I feel like you may be in the fog. You may know you're close to something, but this defeat, this end here, this is really putting to terms some harsh mental depression that you may have gone through, Capricorn. If there has just been this narrative, this darkness that you've been going through, it ends this transit, but it's a definite end. So prepare for that, okay? Aquarius, Aquarius moon, Aquarius rising. Mars in your sign is going to make you super sexy. If any of you sexy Aquarius ladies want to hit my DMs, holla at your boy, and I do mean that. Okay, so Aquarius women, you're going to have all sorts of dudes just hollering at you more than they already do. And Aquarius men and women, y'all are just gonna be like some hoes real quick. Like Mars is gonna add its sexual fire, and just know that if you want somebody, you got them. Mars is gonna give you that room to really achieve your goals. Keep this in mind here, because like some people are gonna act like they're too cool to be seduced, and your Martian energy is just gonna be like, I see through you. You know, you if you're an Aquarius sun or moon, just be like, you know, you want this Martian energy, baby. You know, you want this Martian energy. Yeah, yeah. And then just start dancing like Destiny's Child. You will get the sex. You do that, it's a wrap. Anybody will have sex with you, okay? And we have, it don't matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, no matter who you are, just rub your nipples and start rubbing your belly and just look at them in the eye and be like, you know you want this. You know you want this. And then they're going to smile a little bit and be like, I see that smile. You know you want this, baby. You know you want all this love. And that's a wrap. Oh my God. What was the homework? Damn. I think I forgot the homework, y'all. I remember the hack, but I think I forgot the homework. This isn't good. Okay, I kind of remember it. So, um, we have the Nine of Pentacles, Aquarius. You getting paid too. This is great. This is gonna be really good for money coming in, and this is gonna be really good for money coming in. Okay, so this is. Did I mention this is gonna be really good for money coming in for you, Aquarius? You getting paid. You getting paid. Oh my God. You getting paid. I think that's why people are gonna be like, "Hey, Aquarius, don't you look sexy?" Even though they weren't saying that if you didn't have money before, but they go, "It's all good. It's all good." Pisces, because some of you Aquariuses stay rich, so it is what it is. But you're gonna be splurging. Pisces moon, Pisces rising. Oh shit! All right, so let me just be real with y'all. Um, the invisible empire is a vibration that's sponsored through many ascended masters, but not every Pisces has given their heart over to the dark. And not every Pisces is willingly wanting to put people to sleep. Because the only zodiac sign powerful enough to put people to sleep with their magic is Pisces. That's why it's next to the collective Aquarius. It can put a whole nation to sleep. And so Mars in your 12th house, my friends, is going to activate this very weird, sci-fi-esque mystery. And not mystery, but like suspense flick. The spirit police is gunning for you, Pisces, because you're at a very sensitive pace. Any Pisces can tell someone the truth of their life and awaken them out of their sleep. And what they want to do for incarnated Pisces is to possess them with the dark force sleep energy, Neptune. And some Pisces are like, no, we don't want to put humanity. Some Pisces are with it. They don't care. They're getting paid to do it. Some Pisces are like, no, I want to wake people up. So for you Pisces who got integrity, like the spirit police is gunning for you. Mars in 12 can be very difficult because you're going to be gaslighted. You're going to be gang stalked. There's going to be stuff you see that people act like they didn't see just to undermine you. And this is, of course, to make hidden in the 12th house the dark form of Aquarius, this evil genius. The magician is saying, all you have to do is show your magic. All you have to, you're gonna have the ability to use your talents and skills. Someone just trying to veil my third eye, really? You're gonna have the ability to use your talents and skills to get out of any situation. So anytime they try and gaslight you, you can use their magic to transmute it against them to where it backfires. But this is going to open up a huge battle that will be serious Cancer and Leo season and climax Virgo season so that it can go, Libra season during victories. I noticed someone said Erica Badu. Go to Erica Badu's Instagram page because she's not even hiding about a lot of this battle. Like she's trying to show y'all like what's going on. Like she's trying her best to show y'all what it's like to be an ascended master. For real, for real. So it is what it is, Pisces. They have to kind of get you because if you inadvertently kind of show people how to access infinity, then you're like an insider who knows too much information. And it's like you're not fitting within their agenda, so you're a threat to them now. And that's kind of the politics there. All right. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. This Superpower Politics is brought to you by the Galactic Federation and all the drama that's going to open up when people realize that they can do more than they thought possible and that they can potentially get away and break the law with these superpowers. But just like they may, they're going to be forces of justice that counterimpose them. And we are going to start to see the beginnings and birth of sovereignty. And not just sovereignty, but also vigilantism is what I meant to say. The beginnings and birth of vigilantism and the seeds of revolution will begin to be sowed. Because remember, in a not so distant future, after the divine race, divine RPG 1, Jupiter and Scorpio, is just to awaken everybody, everyone with superpowers, all the Leo Scorpio main characters who are going to be prominent figures in this divine race. This is just to wake people up through a simulation of recruiting the creme de la creme in human consciousness and going on a God conscious simulation. Divine RPG 2, the divine race, Jupiter and Sagittarius, 2019 to 2020, is a race to take that creme de la creme and to fulfill an objective and to see who gets at a certain energy level and manifest something with this team first. Whoever, of course, I mean, the winner is not really as important as much as the progress, because all of this, of course, is to get ready for Divine RPG 3, 2020 to 2022, the Guild Wars, where humanity is going to be at a sovereign independent place due to some anarchy and revolution, to where the government is not going to be as powerful as you think, and there will be open vigilantism, there will be open factions, there will be guilds, there will be people who create their own sovereign structures within sovereign structures, to where in this group there are people who are very highly skilled ex-military men. There's other guilds in another country. And this is going to prepare for the time where people fight against the system and against each other. This is happening. This is happening. This is why you really want to prepare and work on yourself. They're coming out with anti-government propaganda laws so that anyone who speaks up against the government can get in serious trouble. And this can be interpreted in all sorts of ways. This is the government's response to prepare for the inevitable. Okay? The card that I have for everyone, whether you donate or not, is the Magician, and it's the Seven of Wands. You are in a place of advantage. The Magician is the full crystallization of your power and magic with all the elements. You want to use your talents and your skills through this transit to get through. And the Seven of Wands is saying all you need to do to gain victory is to stand up for yourself as you express your talents. I'm ready to astral travel. As you express your talents, as you express your skills, as you believe in yourself. The Magician says believe in yourself. Realize your potential. Believe in yourself. You may be the only one. The Seven of Wands says victory will go to those who stand up for themselves. When other people want to attack you or challenge you on you believing in yourself, you're in the position of advantage here because you are yourself. You know yourself. So you will gain victory if you do not back down and if you stand up for yourself. Same card Pisces got. This is literally all you have to do. Show people that they can respect you by respecting yourself. And you will manifest a very powerful dream that you have wanted to manifest for a long time. Thank you guys once again. Before I get into the super chat, your homework is to do this breathing exercise. Is that really the homework? I guess it's a breathing exercise. And it's really more so just to ground the trademark superpower that you have and to just kind of breathe this in. But there we go. There we go. That's your homework. Okay. So your homework is linked with the hack. Okay. So we want to work with Saturn and Mars. All right. Your homework is to talk to Saturn, consult Saturn, and consult Mars. Okay. And determine throughout this period your power system and your power. Saturn is your power system. Mars is your power. For example, a power system could be like the power system in Hunter x Hunter or in Dragon Ball Z, where within this power system of Nen, there's different categories in which an aura could be. You could be a transmitter, you could be a specialist, you could be an emitter. The way you manifest your energy is to emit it. The way you manifest your energy is to transmute it, or you could be a conjurer, right? That's the power system. There's a central power system, and then there's your own personal power system. And then there's also your power, Mars. So let's say within the power system, you realize that you're an emitter and you focus on emission skills and you focus on enhancing skills. Then your Mars is going to be, what is my emitter power? What is my enhancement power? So focus on Saturn and Mars. Really focus a lot. For those of you who have Neptune on your Saturn or Uranus on your Saturn, you could really do different stuff. So Chad Taylor asked a really good question. Is Hunter x Hunter the best system for this? And because everyone is different, you're going to find that some systems work different for other people. And that's why I said in the beginning, what are the 5 programs or creations that your spirit guides have guided you to do over the past 11 years? That's going to be where you find your system. This was your spirit guides letting you know your system so that now you can develop your power. Okay. For some of you, the Hunter x Hunter system may not work because you resonate way much better with the Avatar, the Last Airbender system. Some of you, you may resonate with the actual real system, like a David Silva method, or a real system you learned in college, studying social work. Some of you may have developed a system from watching Naruto, from reading a book. So you will know, okay, I love you, Kamal. You will know what system resonates with you. And that's everyone has their own private system too. So don't feel like it has to be right. Some of you have this special way of accessing your own energy. You just kind of want a main system to be like an archetype that you can later now, move forward. For some of you, you'll realize that it's a combination of several because, of course, it's a lot of life. So then with Mars, you want to also develop the actual power. All right. For example, I like the Avatar system, right? I'm definitely a wind bender, but I have the ability to bend all 4 elements. So my power system will incorporate my ability to express my energy through fire, water, earth, air, lightning, but my power that I'll focus on developing is the main lightning energy, or the wind, my actual manifestation of expression of it. And this may take some time, and through meditation, you can just set the intention to let the cosmos let you fill you in. You can have help with this too. Now, the body hack, okay, is to understand the influence of the planets and how they ground in your body, okay? This isn't necessarily set in stone, so this is more so like a system to use, kind of like how you can look at the planet, you can look at the months like January, February, March, April. It's not necessarily like January is this hump, but it's just a system you can use to know, okay? So it works occultly though. Any of you who kind of feel, some of you will feel deep resonation to this, others may not as much, okay? But ooh, nice. Gilmore Girl meets Lucy. That's amazing. Gilmore Girl meets Lucy. And see, that's a really good thing, because not everything is supernatural quality. Certain programs kind of show different facets of life, like social integration. So that's a really good system. You know what I mean? It's more integrative of everything. All right. But yeah, based on your fingers, this is a good way to connect with the planets. All right. You can create your own power using your natal chart. For those of you who want to book readings with me, we can look at your chart during the consultation, and we can look at your own power system. I'm going to look at Saturn in your chart. I'm going to look at where the planets are too. generationally, because Saturn takes like 2.5 years to go through a planet, it's going to generationally affect how people come into their systems. Like Saturn in the Capricorn vibration has a very organized power system, whereas Saturn Aries, Saturn Gemini is a lot more adaptable and a lot more original and quick. So other than that, though, based on your hands, right? The left hand is going to be the feminine darkness vibration, and the right hand is going to be the masculine positivity vibration. Honestly, I personally believe that for some people, they're flipped. For some people, their left hand is the sun, the right hand is the moon negative, okay? But I know I'm lefty. I don't know if that inherently says, I know they say the left is usually the receiving hand, the right is the expression hand, okay? So with your thumbs, you have the moon, and you can charge this energy with it too. You have the moon, you have Venus, you have Saturn, you have Neptune, and you have Pluto. Okay? Then for the right, and I'll do this again, the moon, Venus, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto. And then on the right side, you have the sun, Mercury, right? Mercury, this is that. Mars, of course, Mars will be the middle finger. Saturn, Mars. And then you have Jupiter. And then you have Uranus. All the planets. Go figure. That's pretty neat, right? And this will even flip your mind more. Where the fingers meet are how you know the affinities. The sun and the moon, Mercury and Venus, Mars and Saturn. See how Mars has to balance out with Saturn? Jupiter has to work with Neptune. Both Jupiter and Neptune are very much so about philosophical thought, right? And then we have Uranus and Pluto. Now, normally, you see classic combos like Mars and Venus or Mars and Pluto to correlate with, you know what I mean, Scorpio, and Saturn and Uranus to cooperate with Capricorn and Aquarius. But think about it. Saturn and Mars counterbalance really well, and Uranus, revolution, Pluto, destruction. They're at the very end versus the sun and the moon. Okay. Yeah, Althine, I will make a World War Z episode based on this. Astro-palmistry. Okay. It's not traditional palmistry because each mount has like a area, but it's just something to think about. Venus and Mercury, right? Personal planets, Mars and Saturn, Jupiter and Neptune, and then Uranus and Pluto. So just think of that. You'll definitely be able to gain a very powerful sense of, like, you can do whatever with this. Some of you, I feel, will have a stronger way to utilize it. Like, I'm just a messenger, so I'm not, if I was a Virgo, I would know creative ways to utilize it. This is just a message to y'all. I just kind of know this as fact. If you guys know any creative things to do with this knowledge, let me know. I just recently channeled it. So yeah, I'm gonna get into the super chat. Thank you guys very much once again. Your rising sign would actually be your head, and your nodes will be the sky or your heart. But yeah, there you go. Chad Taylor, the card that I have for you. Remember, magician, y'all, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, no matter what. Okay, don't give up. Don't give up. Chad Taylor, we have the Chariot, so keep it moving, man. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. You're going to really gain a lot of victory. Thank you for the blessings, bro. Just definitely carry forth that momentum. And that's really all that has to be done. Okay. Lily 626, we have the Seven of Wands. It's very important that you don't give up. Seven of Wands is definitely speaking of speaking your truth above all. You have a new idea that you want expressed and you don't want to back down. Keep speaking that, even if people try and suppress it. Swirly 777, thank you. We have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords definitely wants you to speak your truth and to really stay professional in your approach, because there are very important people who are looking at what you do, and you're going to really gain much higher quality clientele. There's advice you're going to be giving and gaining professionally that will help you stand distinct. So focus a lot on your individual focused projects. Morgan, we have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is definitely speaking of you being in a place of mourning. There's some depression that you're getting over, but it comes with the Ace of Swords. So if you found yourself going back to something that you wanted to leave behind, it's because there's a new truth that will open up your mind to how to see it. Khalil Lewis, we have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is definitely speaking of things moving very quickly for you. So you're going to have blockages release, and there's a swiftness of a breakthrough that's going to happen over the next 2 months. Lena Love, we have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is going to definitely bless you with greater knowledge as you're being called to really establish more presence in your community. A lot of your relationships and career are going to revolve around something established you do, like working for a school or an industry. So it's definitely bringing a much more traditional sense to how you kind of engage through this. All right. So be open to any traditional knowledge. Nasiha, we have the Five of Swords. For those of you who may not know, Nasiha actually has this really awesome book called Get Your Life. And if you have the link to that, please put that in a live chat. But yeah, make sure you check that out. I got the Kindle version. It's a really dope book. I'm a very unorganized ass person, and in the near future, I may be one of Nasia's clients, because I definitely would like to know how better to live a more luxurious lifestyle. But we do have the Five of Swords for you. So I did say for Sagittarius, you guys are going to be arguing. And Nasiha, like, that's for sure. This could be an argument with the Queen of Pentacles here, but someone's just going to try you and is going to really push your buttons, and you want to be mindful. There may be a burned bridge that comes from this, okay? Just be mindful. This person isn't wanting to make friends. They're just wanting to be right. Joseph Faye, we have the Ace of Pentacles. All right. Appreciate the love, bro. If you've been working on a new income stream or a new job, there's a new gift for you. There's new healthy beginnings that are going to bless you moving forward, so that you can move forward more strategically. And it's going to be something that gifts you with an added ability to ground your energy as well. I definitely will write a book, Julie. Thank you so much for mentioning that. It's definitely in the works. Michael Tate, we have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is definitely speaking of responding compassionately to whatever is more so or less attacking. Shannon, I only have my tarot cards currently on the desk, so I will be pulling tarot, but I will probably make sure the next one I do, I bring out the oracle cards. All right. But Amaris, I'm sorry. For Michael, we do have the Queen of Cups, so you want to respond empathically and also compassionately towards any attacks. All right. And I feel like this Queen of Cups will help soothe this energy thing too. Amorous Crespo. We have the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is definitely talking about you expressing, or rather executing repetition to build your skills and to work appropriately towards everything that's necessary for you to build more work for you. There's going to be money that comes in through this work. So you just want to make sure you put in nothing but quality into it. Gladiator in sweats. You want to speak your truth with even more of a fervency, because this is definitely going to powerfully indicate and determine how well people open up to your knowledge. There's a lot of secret truths that people are closed off to that people are going to start to open up to, because now they've had experience and they're going to be asking you, hey, I didn't believe this at first, but what do you know about it? And we do have the Eight of Cups for you. So this may bring with it a deeper meaning that you're going to be seeking and searching for. All right. So be willing to walk away from what you need to walk away from. Claire Smith, we have the Chariot card. So there is a sense of victory here between you two, but it's going to happen through some clashing of personalities. Both of you are going to come to a way to take your differences and actually work together with them, since there's a teamwork setting here. But the Chariot does speak of forward movement. Delphina Soul. We have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is talking about you really contemplating your emotions and allowing yourself to just feel over the next week and allow any such feelings to rise up. This will definitely help you sort through the changes. And you also want to be mindful as well of how well you can allow yourself to revisit any emotions you suppressed. Jacqueline Kennedy. We do have the Five of Wands. So if he does return, your Aquaman may return around August during Leo season, but there's too much of a clash of personalities that's occurring, and there's a bit of a fight squabbling. So these differences are going to get in the way until then, okay? So just keep that in mind. All right. Luna G. Whoa. Yeah. There you go. Luna G, we have the Page of Cups. There's new positive love for you. If you're single, there's definitely a great opportunity to connect with somebody. But as advice, this is saying to embrace your talents, embrace your feelings. There's a greater evolution of your psychic talents that will birth. Larry, we have the Death card for you. So there's great transformation that's going to come through for you as well. And you just want to embrace endings as they come. Astro Earth, we have the Eight of Wands. So definitely prepare for a swift movement of energy and facilitation of events, okay? Definitely make sure your phone is available. You're going to get a lot of messages. Ashley Riddick, we have the Page of Cups for you too. So this is going to bring with you new romantic opportunity meant to really open your heart, okay? So just keep that in mind. This is safe for you and you're ready to love. Same as Luna G. The advice here is you are ready to open your heart to deep love. Christy Caraballo wanted to know about your punk-ass soulmate. Christy Caraballo, your punk-ass soulmate is a Gemini. Okay, your punk-ass soulmate is the Knight of Swords. they might have a Gemini rising or a Gemini moon, or they're just very quicksilver. So this podcast soulmate hasn't showed himself because he rushes to conclusions, and he's just very quick of a thinker. So he might be rushing the other way, looking for you, not knowing he's supposed to go this way, because he's not the type to ask for directions, and he can be a bit self-righteous. But he has great integrity in his heart. He's quite a noble person, and he's going to make such a great match for you because of that, because you'll definitely get him more in his feelings, and he'll be able to really show you a fun world. Driftless Goddess Collective. We have the Three of Swords. So your heart is going to have to make do with a certain sacrifice and release with certain betrayals that have occurred with you being super fixed, whereas some people may be not as faithful or loyal. So definitely release as you may have to. Calypso, judgment and awakening is here. So prepare to really see a whole lot of change as you get guided to your higher purpose. Surrender to such. Virgo Capricornus, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So when it comes to your career in music, there's a healthy beginning for you. This is great. Ace of Pentacles is saying that you have the tools necessary to invest. It is encouraging you to invest money into it. So when we see the Ace of Pentacles, this is literally like, no problem, Astro Earth. This is literally like someone investing $200 to get studio equipment, or to actually, you know, go to a actual recording studio, or to buy production. And we also have the Nine of Pentacles. So it's saying that whatever it is you start, this music and career music is going to be something that pays you very well, and that you can make a full-time living off of. So all you have to do is just apply that discipline and know whatever you invest in yourself in that regard will succeed. All right. And it doesn't happen for everybody. So it's good that your dedication will see through. Nikki, we have the Six of Swords, and it doesn't happen for everyone because not everyone stays committed. So as long as you stay committed, you'll be straight. Nikki, we have the Six of Swords. This transition period is going to allow you to sail towards positive thoughts and greater realities. Be open to conversations with people who will be connecting with you from overseas. There's a lot of long distance connections coming into form. Girlfish, we have the Judgment card for you. So you're definitely going to be coming into your higher purpose, especially with this Archangel here. There's two angelic forces. A lot is going to come out and change in your life to direct you to your true purpose, and then it's going to balance just as much. So definitely be prepared for this moderation. The delays are over. Are you ready to step into your true life's purpose? Astro Dim 7, why am I having pregnancy dreams? Astro Dim 7, your astral bay is trying to have kids already. Your astral bay has been trying to get you prego for years now. And we do have the Ace of Swords. So the dreams are true, though. The Ace of Swords is definitely talking about speaking your truth, and it comes with the stars. So there's going to be an epiphany about your superpower that's going to awaken a new consciousness of you as a star and as a heavy influencer. I think you're going to have a conversation with someone influential too who inspires you along that path. And your astral bay is going to knock you up too. Okay, you're just going to be like the Virgin Mary, and then people are going to be like, who's the father? And then you're going to be like, my astral bay knocked me up. And then people will be like, yeah, okay, girl, who's the father for real? And be like, it was my astral bay, I promise. Oh, okay, you don't know who it is? No, I do know it's my astral bay. Ali Shanti, we have the Ace of Pentacles for you. So this is another healthy new beginning. What you need to know is that any effort focused upon you very strongly manifesting a new income stream for you is a green light. And you want to really focus your priorities on this. And that's what's really going to push forward better than you expect. So definitely focus your efforts on. Blizzy boy. Okay, we have the Six of Pentacles. You are in a position to really gain greater financial flow. The anxiety and brain fog you're having because you're overwhelming yourself. It's hard to focus because you're letting responsibility pile up, especially on a lot of things you're procrastinating. So make sure you kind of get through that, and there's help for you through this, all right? Especially if you need financial assistance. Jazz Ravenel, we have the Six of Wands. So you're definitely going to experience great achievement. There are going to be people who find you a lot more cool because you're definitely showing improving, and you're going to gain a lot more money and recognition. So whatever you're doing, keep it up. And this is also, as far as seeing the 23, it's a message of you returning to yourself. You seeing your birth date all around you, there's a new sense of yourself that's about to be revealed, okay? Sharon Andrea, we have the Four of Swords. And this is saying you want to rest, but I feel with the Empress, a large part, and as a channeled message, a large part of your goddess energy, especially you as Isis, is awakening at a much greater level. And it's very taxing to your body because you're using a lot more of your intuition than you're used to, and spirit wants you to rest. Like you should have a lot more sleep because it's a lot of divine energy that's awakening through your body. And you don't want to really spread yourself thin because it could be very taxing on your mind, okay? VP, we have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is talking about you gaining a much more added connection to your community, and you're going to find that your home is just so much more amazing to be. You definitely do have a hidden superpower, and it's important that you ask because you have a superpower, but you also have a hidden power. And now with Nine of Swords and the Five of Cups, you have mental anxiety and you also have a lot of depression. And that's because your hidden superpower has been suppressed. And because of the instability of this suppressed power that doesn't allow your energy to reach your brain and cycle, it's manifesting in a lack of sleep. This hidden superpower is really powerful and it's just now an awakening. So this is going to release a lot of this, and it has a lot to do with your ability to take negative vibrations and to cleanse it and make it very pure like a sanctuary. But since it's inverting in itself, it's actually poisoning you. So this is going to release though. And a lot of your depression is just going to leave you, and it'll be replaced with happiness because your power is now where it's supposed to be. Masa Salur, we have the Moon for you. Okay, the Moon is saying you want to embrace more your intuitive power. Your psychic ability is expressing itself and it's establishing itself in greater ways. It's a great way of saying your psychic ability is if your psychic ability was like a toddler in the past few years, now it's a full-grown adult and it's making much more decisions. So it's showing itself to you in more creative synchronicities, and you want to embrace your intuitive direction. Fire Star, we have the Page of Cups, and I also have the Two of Pentacles. So you want to work on your creative spiritual gifts. The Page of Cups is a lot about you being in a position to open up to your creativity, to open up to your heart, to really allow yourself to catch feelings. And you want to apply your creative talents to the work you do productively. So if you're good at writing poems, write a poem every day and really stay focused on that, okay? However it may manifest. David Rosher, okay? We do have the Seven of Cups. So you want to really be mindful of any escapist tendencies that you're doing to inadvertently misconnect, all right? VP, blessings to you too. I'm not going to lie, a lot of this was done because of a generational curse. So you're breaking free from that. It's like you decided to inherit the karma from your family, and it's very indicative in how the rest of your family treats you. It's not you, it's that dark energy that you carry in for them, okay? And you're releasing it for them. Whether they may not say thank you for that, but you know, this is what you're doing for them. So it's very much like a martyr birder thing, but you're not a martyr and you're not a victim. Okay, so David Rosher, we do have the Seven of Cups, the Five of Swords, and the Five of Cups. It's almost as if your soulmate is attracting you subconsciously, but both of you consciously have not recognized each other. So subconsciously, you keep drawing each other. And in your case, it's like you're not sure who you're seeing, but it's one of the people who you think it is. Meanwhile, they're having to go through some of their own negativity and sadness and sorrow. So you're clearing a lot of negativity for you and this person. And you just want to make sure you purify a lot of this visualization, but just be mindful, a lot of this fog is going to clear. Okay, just don't take it personally, any misagreements that are made. All right, Margaret, best way for me to go with this transit is alone. The Hermit card is saying you want to really just rest and stay introspective. You really do the best with just sticking to yourself and letting this be time you spend to really just nourish yourself and to really just chill. Aisha, we have the Ace of Swords. The angels want to know that they're establishing divine truth within you. You're going to be speaking to people on a level that really rocks their world and on a level that really shakes their foundation. And this truth is going to be a powerful part of your spirit. Congratulations, Astro Dim in future, for your astral baby that you're about to have at your astral bang. Good night, okay? Carrie Ann Pearl, should I take the apartment upstairs from mine? Yes, you should. And we do have the Four of Pentacles. So you're going to be gaining a lot more money than you already have. And this is going to come with added recognition. And this is going to come with greater financial stability as well. Okay. Gypsy Vibes 90. What do I need to know right now? The 10 of Wands is saying anything that you have procrastinate on, you need to get done instantly so that you avoid wisdom, because you avoid upheaval. There's something that's about to just kind of shake up in your life, and if you're too busy to handle it, it's not necessarily going to be that easy to deal with. So make sure you get through all this responsibility as well as you can, as soon as you can. Shamanic Queen, we have the High Priestess. Your intuition is super fire, and I don't think you're trusting it as much as you should. So you want to go back and really sit down and listen to what your inner voice is telling you, because it's going to guide you into a whole new adventure and a lot of success within like 3 days, especially as soon as tonight, okay? Jeremy Nar, tonight, tomorrow night, and next tomorrow night, there are going to be 3 victories that you gain, okay, Shamanic Queen? Jeremy Nar, we have the Queen of Cups. This queen is psychically reaching out to your heart, and she's super psychic. And she plays games with your heart just to kind of open you up and get you in your feelings whenever you let your pride flare. So she's going to really express a lot more of her energy. This could be a long distance connection too, but but regardless of if it's long or short distance, this compassion is going to manifest physically. You'll get to have an encounter with this queen if you don't already know her. Aaron Trujillo, we have the Six of Cups for you. So there's also very important soulmate energy that you're going to manifest with the kindred soul. And this is meant to take childhood issues that were the root of your social anxiety and finally heal them through this soulmate connection. All right. Star-crossed Pisces, we have the Page of Pentacles. So yes, you will move back to Chicago in the next 2 years. This may very much so be tied to schooling, if you're transferring, or some kind of study. There may be a bit of a delay, but the Page of Pentacles is definitely speaking of you having to right now work a lot on your health and routine to facilitate to that, although you may change your mind later. And Tonar, we have the Six of Cups for you, but it comes with the 10 of Wands. You and a soulmate are going to inherit a lot of burden together. And yep, it has to do with pregnancy. This could be the burden of birth, where you get together with a soulmate and you have a child, okay? And if it's not a child, it's just definitely responsibility, a shared project. So it's not a bad thing. It's just you guys may not be so aware of how serious this is going to be, okay? Fiona, am I going in the right direction with work? We have the Hermit card. Yes, you are. Just make sure when it comes to this, you're very private about the direction you're taking. And you want to make sure the direction you take is a much more independent one, even if it's slowly but surely. Damn it. But yeah, the Hermit is saying you want to definitely be introspective with, of course, how you do your work. If you can get any more independent positions, better too. Beltane, we have the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is talking about mutual love with the soulmate. Simply make the wish to just call out to this soulmate and bring them into your life. If not, at least etherically, this is definitely here. Star-crossed Pisces. We have, oh, we already did your card. My apologies. Shannon, we have the Seven of Pentacles, but let me pull another one. Shannon, we have the Justice card. So if you've been waiting on a legal ruling or a fair cost or fair ruling, it's coming to you. This also comes with the Four of Wands. So there's going to be, ooh, Shannon, I get the sense that some people believed rumors about you. And Justice card is like karma coming through, and it's finally it's clearing your name. And you're going to restore some friendships, because there's some people who just stopped messing with you because they believe the rumors. And now they're going to kind of come back and be like, oh, see, I always knew you were cool. I just didn't know this wasn't true. And it's going to really just bring great reunions. Okay. AZ, we do have the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is speaking of greater financial abundance. So you're going to gain assured material benefits in your world that you can save. Lisa Ben, we have the Hermit card. And it also comes with the Four of Swords. So make sure you get some rest. 3 months from now, by August, you'll definitely have greater onus to open an office. So it's definitely in the cards for you. I would just be more focused with being very personal with where you're going with things, and a bit not secretive, but just more introspective. You will definitely be able to open an office, though. You'll be able to do it in 2 months, actually. So you can move forward with that. Just be more personal with this. Sabrea Finley, we have the Hangman. The Hangman wants you to surrender, because it's definitely in a position that will allow you to transform your personality, okay? And not just transform your personality, but also, you know what I'm saying? It's going to allow you very powerfully to look at yourself in a different way as you evolve. Star-crossed Pisces, you did the Eight of Swords says no, you can, but you're probably not going to, because I think you feel stuck right now. So you want to make sure you turn around negative thoughts. You will move into your apartment if you make it happen. So it's not necessarily something that is going to be up to luck as much as it is what you put in place. And that's why I have the Eight of Swords, because you might have limiting ideas that make you feel like you can't do this, even though there's nothing you can't do. All right. Clarissa, we have the Two of Cups. You want to look at your close partnerships, especially if you're single. You're about to get in a significant relationship that will really influence your career. If you're already in a relationship, you want to go to your partner about where to take a career, because I get the sense with the Two of Cups, you're about to enter a partnership that will really have you do your career with someone you love. All right, which is awesome. Neneruha, we have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is encouraging you to walk away from everything right now. You are ready to seek deeper meaning in your life, and that's definitely going to encourage a very important need for you to just kind of distance yourself from everything and just go on a road trip or walk away and find some time for yourself, okay? Olga Martez, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Your luck and destiny is shifting, and with the Two of Cups, there is a fated relationship that you're going to manifest. You and this soulmate are destined to be with each other. So if you're single, you're not going to be single for much longer. And if you're in a relationship, you and your partner are about to establish a very important sense of destiny together, where things fall at the right time in the right place and you're doing what you're meant to do. You're going to connect to your destiny through a key relationship. Natasha Bailey, we have the Moon card, and I also have the Eight of Wands, but I also want to pull this with the Page of Swords. So with this new man, he's going to help stimulate a lot of your psychic ability, and there's certain facets about how you saw things, because this is the card of Pisces, by the way, but there's certain facets of how you saw things that he's going to change your mind about, and it's going to trigger new understanding and learning about certain shadow aspects about yourself, okay? Perspective and wisdom. We have the Ten of Pentacles. There's a lot of wealth and great legacy coming to you. Well, you have the legacy, but there's greater wealth coming to you in the form of passive income. So if there are any opportunities that you've been working towards, there's going to break through versus new opportunities you want to say yes to, so that you can allocate how you develop the family legacy you have. Tapping in with your ancestors will also help as well. Sandy Lancaster, we have the Chariot. So when it comes to your superpower is the ability to push through any circumstance. The Chariot is a very powerful card to gain when we talk about superpowers as well. And I kind of want to take some time to talk about that, because for you to ask specifically about superpowers and you get the Chariot is definitely speaking of this. It's like a mode that you shift. Your superpower is victory and the power to succeed, which is amazing. Okay, you may just be breaking into this for the first time in a long time. It's to be assertive. It's to be in control. It's the card of Cancer. This is the card of using your willpower to accomplish your goals. And it's represented in a lot of how you're able to take your assertiveness and determination is in a super way that can once again manifest anything for you. So strengthening that will and developing that in a super powered way is going to come through visualization and also new and powerful ways as well. Okay. Eve. I have the Hermit card, and I also have the Four of Swords. Just wanted to come up a lot on the Hangman. So, I'm very grateful for what you donated, and I'm totally glad. It's totally cool that it was not more. That's totally all right. Please know with the Hermit card and the Four of Wands, like, you want to make sure you just surrender to this process with the Hangman. You're going through challenging times, so you really do need to rest. You really do need to very powerfully cool off and relax. I honestly have no idea what's in your will, but the Hermit card and the Four of Wands is saying to surrender to your alone time and just really, take whatever time you need to rejuvenate and recuperate. Francie Gonzalez, we have the Six of Cups for you. And Francine, this is saying that you definitely want to be in a position to very powerfully connect with your soulmate. This is actually a double message for you, Francine, and I'm going to explain it shortly. So the first meaning is you're going to connect with a soulmate from your past life, and it's going to inspire greater innocence within you. But however, Francine, one of your special powers is that you can connect with anybody in an innocent and pure way. And this consciousness from you is going to purify very special friendships where certain people will come to you because they know you can connect with them in their heart. Okay. Shade Bennett, Metatron wants you to know that you are being too nice. You have very powerful energy in your heart, and Metatron, as well as other beings, have directly given you authority and power to where when you say certain things and when you intend certain things, it's going to happen with greater power and authority. So in that regard, Metatron is a little bit frustrated with you because Metatron wants you to have more authority with how he's saying. He's been talking to you about this too and giving you synchronicities of assertiveness. See, Metatron doesn't outright want to say it, but Metatron wants you to like G-check people. Metatron kind of wants you to smack people who kind of cross that line. And when people cross the line, you have to turn up on them. And Metatron wants to let you know you can be a bit more blunt in what you say because your heart's in the right place. So sometimes you can yell at someone because you have that authority. And when you yell at them and when you go in on them, they're going to be like, thank you. I needed to hear that. Because once again, your heart's in the right place. And we also have the Chariot card for you too. So there's great victory for you to speak when you speak your truth once again. And just powerful momentum. Remember, everybody, believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in yourself. No one else going to believe in you as much. And until next time, peace.